I may have found the strangest Halloween movies that no one seems to know about. It started with this movie, A Halloween Puppy, but from there it took me on a journey to unearth some of the strangest films I have ever come across. So I suggest you watch this until the end because it gets interesting, that's for sure. So let's start from the beginning. I was doing some digging on the internet looking for some low-budget Halloween fun to celebrate this month when I came across this film, A Halloween Puppy, what appears to be a wonderful family-friendly spook. The ratings for this movie were through the floor, so naturally I had to get my hands on it. Unfortunately, this movie was removed from the only platform it was available for streaming on, but that did not stop me. I scoured the internet, checking every single grimy back corner website I could find just to have a taste of what this movie had to offer, to no avail. It was like the movie had been scrubbed from the internet, so naturally, my curiosity was exploding. I had to order the DVD of this movie and then purchase an external DVD player in order to even watch it. Look what just came in the mail. I am so excited for this. A Halloween Puppy. Look at that cover art. That is beautiful. Wow. That's something else. So let's read the synopsis of the film. A boy accidentally turns his mom's boyfriend into a dog. Oh. Well, now I gotta see this. And is this movie as bad as the ratings suggest? Yes. Yes, it is. The movie starts off incredibly promising with an animated intro of ghouls and goblins, making you think, hey, this movie's gonna be pretty spooky. It's gonna have all of those things. It seems like for the intro, they forgot it was not just about Halloween, but a Halloween puppy, because suddenly stock photos of puppies start appearing as if they were an afterthought in the intro sequence. It also might be important to note that none of the puppies shown in the intro are ever the same type of breed of dog as the one that's on the poster of the movie, which is the only dog featured or ever seen in the movie. The film establishes the story taking place probably in the greater Los Angeles area in what looks like a $10 million mansion, and then immediately cuts to this incredibly long shot from the perspective of someone walking down a hallway. This is intended to be spooky, but it goes on so long that it seems like that they forgot that they were filming. And cut. Sammy, cut. Cut. Cut! Whoa, what? Sammy, I called cut. What the fuck are you doing? Oh, sorry. I was thinking about the Eiffel Tower. Like, why don't they just call it French Tower?
Wait, hold on. Let me see that shot first. We might have something here, son.
We're then introduced to two of the main characters, Adam and his mom Linda, who works as a veterinarian. She's coming home from work, and her idea of greeting her son is to tell him that a monitor lizard swallowed a chew toy at work, and then gives him that chew toy as a bit, and he acts like that's the best joke that he's ever heard.
I thought my son could appreciate a fully chewed chew toy.
That's just gross. Why would he want that? Adam's main character trait is that he's obsessed with Halloween, to the point where he acts like this.
Oh, by the way, can I have a Halloween movie night? Please?
What? How old is this kid? He's gotta be 17 years old in this movie. Why is he doing a little kid beg to his mom to have a Halloween movie night? That's a little strange. So then Adam goes to sleep, and then what? Where did the budget for the title cards in this film go? Did they spend all that money on the intro? So the next day, it's Adam talking to his mom about how he doesn't want to go to college, with Adam making reference to the literal mansion that they live in as a fallback option, I guess.
Besides, look at this house. We live like kings.
And then his mom gives the weirdest explanation for why they're living in this mansion.
No, we live like people who got a great deal on a short-term rental because a formerly sick Pekingese had a very grateful owner who also just happened to be a real estate agent.
That sounds less like a real reason and more like an alibi. Linda, what happened to the previous owners? What did you do to them, Linda? They spend time talking about one of the central plots of the movie, which is Linda's boyfriend, Ted, being very predictable, and Linda feels as though she's in a cycle where every time they hang out, they're just doing the same thing and their relationship is going nowhere. This whole conversation happens when they are this close to each other. That is like 2 feet. If my mom got that close to me in a conversation, I would be like, whoa, what, am I in trouble? Adam has all of these plans for how he wants to spend Halloween because it's his favorite holiday, and he wants to be able to use his mom's car for Halloween night. His mom responds with this.
It's Halloween, okay? You're gonna be in ghost, ghoul, movie overload, okay? Google-eyed, let's see. Driving on 2 wheels, dreaming up new monsters. Absolutely not. I'm driving.
You're telling me that this kid has such a significant Halloween addiction that he's unable to operate a motor vehicle? This has become a disability for him? That's worrisome, to say the least. We're then introduced to Ted, played by Eric Roberts, who was also this guy in The Dark Knight. I just thought I would mention that. And he comes in with a box of donuts, but he weirdly does not eat a single donut and instead is just licking the frosting from the inside of the box. Sir, stop, sir. Linda then tries to talk to Ted about improving their relationship before he goes to work, but he is a weird, clueless man. And then he leaves for work and Linda's like, sick. Later on, Adam is setting up the Halloween decorations, which feels a little late in the game given the fact that it's the day before Halloween. And we're introduced to the classic and literal girl next door, Molly. She comes out of the woods, nobody knows from where, and she's here to show Adam a spooky book.
Look at this. It looks cool. Kind of like the Necronomicon.
What?
I had the same reaction, Molly. The Necronomicon? He's talking about the Necronomicon, which is a fictitious ancient book of the dead. If he is talking about what I think he is and just saying it wrong, that makes his reaction here even funnier.
Never mind, I'll just show you the movies. You know, you seem so smart. And then you're so not smart about the things that matter.
You're such a fucking dick. You don't even know how to say it, dude.
Cauldrons, plants, animals. This is like some medieval witch's spellbook.
I mean, I guess. It looks like a Bible from a burnt-down Motel 6, but I suppose ancient spellbook is also an appropriate takeaway. This entire scene, and really the whole movie, kind of gives off Spanish class videos from middle school vibe. No sé por qué hicieron esta la película. I used Google Translate for that.
I don't know where we're going to get what looks like the horn of a unicorn.
Most of that stuff has modern equivalents.
How do you know that?
I'm just interested in it, that's all. No big deal.
There's a slight hint that Molly knows how to do magic, and then Molly goes inside to say hi to Linda, and they sit on this shot of the spell book for very long. Almost as if to say, book important. Book part of story. So Linda vents to Molly about how she's got some personal issues in her life going on, as they stand once again way too close to each other. And Molly suggests that Linda could use her parents' cabin to have like a getaway weekend. To which Linda responds with this.
Yeah, I've got some personal stuff going on, and I think going away for the weekend would be the perfect way to take care of it one way or another.
Why'd you say it like that? How did Linda manage to make an innocent conversation seem suspicious with that one line? She decides that the perfect time to go on this trip would be tomorrow. You know, Halloween. Her son's favorite holiday. Surely he'll be fine with that. And then she leaves to go call Molly's parents. We're then introduced to what I suppose are the main antagonists of the film, Nikki and Chad. They're Adam's neighbors, and they've basically come over to bully him and take Adam's Halloween supplies for their haunted house.
Halloween, huh? I like Halloween. I like seeing little kids scream.
This guy is gonna be in jail by 20 if he keeps saying shit like that.
We're making a haunted house. It's gonna be at our place.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, it's gonna be the scariest thing you've ever seen.
I don't know. I've been to the haunted hayride. Or the haunted hotel down...
No way. Ours is gonna be scariest. It's gonna be in our garage. It'll be totally scary.
Well, if you guys are involved, I know it's gonna be scary.
Yeah.
This is a really weird conversation. It's like half bullying and half small talk. What is happening here? It seems like Adam is less intimidated by them as he is uncomfortable around them. Also, everybody in this movie refers to these two as the twins, and they all say it in the same exact tone.
The twins.
Oh no. The twins.
Oh, the twins.
What are these guys, like Tweedledee and Tweedledum? Linda comes outside and tries to stop them from stealing from them, but then they just ignore her completely and steal the box. Also, that box has to be like 10 pounds. Why are they carrying it together? So later on, Linda fills in Adam with her plan to go to this cabin with Ted the next day, and weirdly asks Adam to come with her. You know, on Halloween.
And by now you mean in November, right? Not on Halloween, my favorite day of the year.
What a terrible mom. Also, why does Adam even need to be there? He's not involved in their relationship problem. And she gives the strangest justification for doing it on a whim.
Okay, look, I know it's a really big day for you, but I'll make it up to you, Adam. I mean, you are man enough to know that you have to, take care of things
come
like
on
this
now.
right away.
Adam eventually agrees and then proceeds to complain to Molly about it, who ends up also agreeing to come on the trip. And then Adam goes on another tangent about how much he likes Halloween.
I like going to Mr. Flyswatter's haunted garage and seeing what new creatures he's dreamed up this season. I like watching as many horror movies as I can on 3 separate screens while eating piles of candy pretending that it's human flesh.
He wants to eat candy and pretend that it's flesh?
You know what they give out around this neighborhood? Whole candy bars, not just those little ones.
He's trick-or-treating at 17? What is his problem? This kid needs to get some help because he is showing the telltale signs of a physical addiction to Halloween. Imagine if he did this for every holiday. He would be the weirdest person to be around.
What is going on, fellow high schooler Trent?
Hey, what's up, man? You excited for Christmas break?
Yeah, Trent. My dad just bought a 45 and spikes for the fireplace. We're gonna get him for sure this year.
Huh, okay. Brent, are you and your dad gonna try to kill Santa Claus?
And there's Santa, and there's Mrs. Claus, and there's the elves. Oh, there's the elves, all right. The elves are coming, they're coming, aren't they? And they're gonna...
Hey, Trent, what is wrong with him? Oh, you know, that's just crazy Adam. He gets a little bit too much into the holiday spirit.
Did somebody say spirits? I love Halloween.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
So Linda convinces Ted to come to the cabin that weekend, and he agrees but says he has to show up after he's picked up his car from the mechanic. And that night, in order to cheer Adam up, Molly has Adam join her in trying to perform a spell from the Motel 6 Bible that she found. They perform a spell in which they say,
Ted, Klaatu, Barada, Nikto.
Which is just a famous line from The Day the Earth Stood Still, and also not Latin, which she said the book was written in. The spell does nothing at first, but then Ted comes along, asks them what they're up to, and when they respond, he says,
Neato!
Neato, which incidentally causes the spell to activate as displayed by this very high-budget VFX and sends a yellow orb into Ted's face, causing him to become tired and go to sleep. It's also abundantly clear that they shot Eric Roberts' scenes during the day and then attempted to color correct to try to make it look like it was still night. Oh, we're doing this again. Okay. The next day, Adam comes downstairs and discovers with Linda a dog that has appeared in their house. So that dog is Ted, who has been turned into a dog by the magic, and you can also hear his thoughts.
Linda! Oh, hi. Sorry I fell asleep on the couch. I don't know what happened.
So obviously, this is where the title of the movie gets its name.
I'm a puppy? Oh!
No, you're a fully grown English bulldog. This happens throughout the film, where the dog is very clearly a full-grown dog, but everyone insists calling it a puppy. And it makes me feel like this is the only dog that they could get a hold of. Like, they wanted a puppy, but they just couldn't get one, so everyone just pretends it's still a puppy. So Linda decides the best course of action is to take the dog with them to the cabin, and it's becoming wildly apparent that not even a nuke could stop this lady from going to this cabin. Also, this might be nitpicky, but at one point, Linda tells Adam, who's dressed in yesterday's clothes, to get dressed. He leaves to go do that. And the next time we see him, he's in the same outfit, and he wears that outfit for the rest of the movie. The drive to the cabin is a whole scene in this movie. It shouldn't be, but it is. It's made up of these shots of their car driving down a road with voiceovers from the cast that I can only assume had to be improv during the shoot.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
When are we gonna get there?
And Adam, well, he's still yelling about Halloween.
I'm supposed to be looking up, like, all this zombie stuff, but no, we're out in nature and...
It's starting to feel like his interest is less in Halloween and more in mentioning topics that vaguely relate to Halloween. As if he's constantly trying to prove that he likes Halloween, but just learned what it is. I think the best part about this driving scene, though, is how they facilitate the change of setting for the viewer. So here's them driving down the road. They're very clearly in California. This is very likely on one of the roads going on the mountains that surround the San Fernando Valley. Then it fades into totally different climate. Looks like a forest in Oregon. This cabin is far away. Then it fades into, oh, they're still driving in California. Maybe that was like a memory or something. Then it fades into, okay, so this is a very far away cabin. They end the drive in the same climate they started in. Either way, Crazy Adam, Magic Molly, Dog Ted, and Psycho Linda have reached the cabin. Molly brings Adam to visit, I think, her family friend who happens to live nearby this cabin and is also a witch.
This is my friend Adam.
Hello, Adam. You seem dubious.
No, ma'am.
These are like AI conversations given form. In her clairvoyant nature, she knows that Molly and Adam performed a spell and wants to help them figure out what it is that they did. So they bring the witch lady the book, and she says that it's a very powerful spell book and that you'd need extensive magical training in order to even attempt to perform a spell. But then 2 seconds later is like, oh, Ted turned into a dog because he said Neato.
You didn't say Nikto?
No, I didn't. See, we couldn't have transformed anyone.
Perhaps, as long as no one said Nito.
Wait, what?
Neato.
My favorite part of this scene, though, is when she mentions the significance of the spell being done on Halloween, and Adam responds this way.
So, if I had done the spell on St. Patty's Day, I'd have a pot of gold right now.
Come on, man. The whole time you've been obsessed with the holiday, but the moment someone else places significance on it, he's like, I don't understand why this would be a big deal.
You're telling me that we turned my mom's boyfriend into a Halloween puppy? Oh, I'm so grounded.
He said the thing. That's the title of the movie. Is that what we're doing now? Just placing the name of the holiday in front of things that happen close to them? It turns out the solution is that they have to say the spell backwards at the place that it was cast in order for Ted to turn back into a human again, which is just like the undo button of spell books, I guess. As they're leaving, though, Adam asks the witch for proof that she's a witch so he knows that he can trust her, and she does this.
Okay, let's go.
Good luck.
Seems that they bought 4 templates for visual effects and they're just cycling through them. You may be wondering what Linda and Ted the dog were up to this whole time, because they did have a scene that was intercutting between the one I just talked about.
Everything that you've ever known about pizza is wrong. We all know what pizza is, the delicious flatbread with cheese and toppings that comes in a variety of forms and flavors. We all remember the coveted pizza party in elementary school where we'd get a slice so damn thin that you'd think that we're rationing out food in a post-apocalyptic Chuck E. Cheese. That was also the moment that we learned that God is indeed real. He just thinks it's funny when we're sad. It was one of the greatest culinary inventions in modern history that basically put Italy on the map. Because let's be honest with ourselves here, there's no way that you thought a country shaped like a boot worn by white Anglo-Saxon horse girls in autumn was real. But what if I told you that the true history of pizza? Many people would initially assume that pizza found its origins in ancient Italy, but you'd be surprised to hear that it goes much further back than that to the ancient Babylonians. This revelation came with the discovery of an ancient Babylonian recipe book in the form of a clay tablet because, and this may come as a surprise to many of you, they did not have staples. That kind of blew my mind when I found that out. What the fuck? Amongst your regular recipes of meat and vegetarian dishes, it also speaks of a particular recipe with a flatbread with vegetable toppings on it. Sound familiar?
Ancient pizza.
What makes this finding even more interesting is that the Babylonians were famously known for their developments in math and science. In other words, they were a bunch of ancient crusty nerds. Due to a lack of them having no friends and being a bunch of fucking dorks, they calculated the area of a circle by taking 3 times the square of its radius, which gave a value of pi, or close to it. Yeah, that's right. Pi. We're talking 3.1415926535379322795028419717499445. But why do you think they call it pi? That stands for pizza pie. The ancient inventors of pizza also invented circles. Unfortunately, after the Persian king Cyrus the Great conquered Babylon, the development of the pizza that we know today was almost halted because for some reason the guy just didn't like flatbreads. Now let's talk about Little Caesar. One of the most influential people in the history of pizza was born in 70 BCE as none other than the son of Julius Caesar, Caesar II. Many historians think that Julius Caesar only had one son, but a seasoned pizza scholar like myself knows that that's not the truth. And those other historians can actually go huff paint. Caesar had this child with a woman named Octavia, but he wasn't married to her, which is bad. Drama. Deceit. Adultery. This child was a bastard. And what makes matters worse is that when Octavia was pregnant with Caesar II, she got attacked by a bear, so he came out real small. And we're talking like really short. This guy was 4'11" at best. When you're really short and nobody talks to you because your dad doesn't love you, you do things to mask the pain. This was Little Caesar's situation. The dude was miserable, but that caused him to discover something that had been lost for many years. Little tiny Caesar was the first person to put toppings on focaccia bread, making it a trend with the local village. And let me tell you, they loved him. He was having a lot of sex, and the power of this early pizza was spreading through the Roman Republic like a wildfire, as well as the ideas of freedom and individuality that pizza often promotes. Unfortunately, this was around the same time that his father Julius Caesar had declared himself dictator for life of the Roman Republic, who just so happened to not be a fan of those themes. One day, as Little Caesar was enjoying his focaccia bread with toppings on it, he was ambushed by a group of anti-pizza Caesar thugs who just beat the crap out of him. They beat him so bad that historians think that he may have gotten brain damage because the only recorded thing that he said after this event was pizza, pizza. From that moment on, Little Caesar was exiled from society by his own father, which is super rude and not cool. And only devout followers of Little Caesar would take on the way of the pizza through secret underground apprenticeships. Once again, it seemed like the way of the pizza could go extinct, which is tragic. That is, of course, until the pizza explosion. Little Caesar, with his limited vocabulary, passed down his pizza recipe for hundreds of years, with each apprentice adding their own little jazz to the mix, their own little spice, if you will. People added tomatoes, they added cheese. It was becoming more complicated, more scientific. Italy was suddenly a booming paradise of pizza technology, pizza diversity. It was a beautiful time to be alive, and people often like to call it the Renaissance. Personally, I wouldn't have called this period of time the Renaissance. I think that's a stupid name. I would have called it pizza time. Italy's got a pizza and it's in your oven. Italy's cooking up something real good. Pizzaville, and the Pope is there too. And after this period of time, pizza spread throughout the world. People were eating it in Moscow, doing the little Moscow dance that the Russians do. Look at them go. People were eating it in China with those cats from the PBS show that I saw when I was a kid. And if they weren't eating pizza, they wouldn't have built the Great Wall of China because they wouldn't have had the strength. And of course, pizza found its way to sail on the open seas, which is where we run into Pizza Beard. With the discovery of the New World also came the discovery of great economic prosperity on the high seas. And of course with this came pirates. There are legends of a great pirate by the name of Giovanni Lufacci, who was the captain of a ship called the Doughboy's Embrace. However, like the fate of many pirates when they set out onto the open seas, him and his crew fell ill to scurvy. If you don't know what scurvy is, it's when you don't have enough vitamin C and then your teeth fall out. Just when it seemed like everything was lost though, Giovanni had the intuition to put limes as a topping on the ship's supply of pizza, saving the crew and giving him the title Pizza Beard. Pizza Beard and his pizza crew went on to fight many battles of legend, ending only with Pizza Beard being hanged for punching a kid. He was actually hung by his own crew because in terms of piracy, that's where they draw the line. Punching kids. Hundreds of years later, many pizza artisans, much like Pizza Beard, went on to seek their fortune in the land of opportunity. This, of course, leads us to... Oh, where am I? I'm lost in the big city. Just kidding, I know exactly where I am. I'm in the home of New York-style pizza. Characterized by large, hand-tossed thin crust and sold in big slices for the city that never sleeps, this is a good slice. What historians don't tell you, though, is this pizza style's connection with the famous 5 families of the Italian-American organized crime scene. You've got the Maranzanos, the Profacci, the Manganos, the Lucianos, and the fucking Gaglianos. But what they don't talk about is the Mozzarellos, the 6th family in the Italian-American organized crime scene. Don't believe me? Don't look it up. The Mozzarella family was founded by Antonio Prosciutto Vaffanculo Mozzarella, but his friends like to call him Tony. His enemies, however, they call him the Grease, and I don't know why. So similar to how many organized crime syndicates engage in loan sharking, the Mozzarellos followed a similar model, except that in their case, they called it pasta sharking. They pretty much controlled the pizza economy in New York by having a stranglehold on the pizza sauce imports into the city, and then selling it back to the pizza shops at exorbitant rates. Talk about cool but rude. Obviously this was not good for the city of New York or New York style pizza. I mean, the Mozzarellas were fucking everything up, making pizza more expensive. Pizza should be cheap and cheesy, all right? And don't take it from me, take it from Socrates, because he's the one who said that. So one day, Joe Lombardi, son of Ginevra Lombardi, who founded the very first pizza shop in the United States, founded the Staten Island Dough Tosser Book Club. This was a team made up of the best pizza makers in New York City. You've got Joe Lombardi, Vito Pastigliano, Giorno Salami, Carmine Gabagool, and Tony Doorbell. These guys were some of the toughest pizza makers in New York City, and they were sick of Mozzarellos, Schizzarello, let me tell you. Why was it called a book club, you may ask? Nobody ever checks what's going on in a book club, because nobody cares. What happens next is Joe Lombardi and his crew of dough tossers burst into the Mozzarella headquarters and they kill Antonio Prosciutto Vaffanculo Mozzarella. But not before giving him one final slice of New York City. But this time, the sauce was the blood of his beloved cat, Bologna. After that, the mozzarella family was dissolved and pizza in New York City thrived like never before.
Why do you guys keep calling me emo? Damn it, Jesus! Quick, get him!
So now that you're as deep in this as I am, why are TikTok live streams so weird? As I was browsing TikTok while working on my viral sound video, I started getting recommended TikTok lives on my For You page. TikTok live is like looking deep into the void and having it maniacally scream back at you. It's like walking through Times Square in New York, but it's an alternate reality and everyone is suffering from acute psychosis, including yourself. And with TikTok making live streaming a money-making opportunity for pretty much anyone that owns a smartphone, it's become the perfect incubator to hatch some of the worst attempts at side hustling I have seen yet. The first discovery I made was a group of people that had figured out a way to commodify sleeping. You know, that weird thing that everyone does where we pass out for 50% of our lives. And this is perfect because that means that TikTok has managed to take control of their greatest rival, going to bed. Ironically, these sleeping streams are not about actually getting sleep, but rather keeping someone awake.
Hello there.
They have an entire menu of donation options for viewers. Meme sound bites that will blast through speakers in their room. So obviously the viewer's job is to donate money to be annoying. But there's a level of performance that is required in order for this TikTok live strategy to work. They will pretend to get angry with people sending donations to them, as if this entire scenario was not constructed of their own free will. What boxes would you have to check for this to be a real situation for someone? Is this even sustainable for someone? The more money you make, the worse it gets. I like to think that they do this every night. And if this is their day job, when they're done with work, do they go to bed? They're already there. You'd have to end your day by popping like 7 Advil. One of my favorite things that I'll notice the chat do is they'll start beckoning people to stop donating and just let the guy sleep. Like they're the stereotypical thugs behind a bar beating the shit out of some innocent person, and one of the guys is like, all right, boys, he's had enough, let's get out of here. And then it's just a live stream of the guy actually looking like he's sleeping, and it's not like he can do anything about it. He's supposed to be sleeping. You also might notice that the donation tiers seem less like a price menu and more like a hieroglyphic Rosetta Stone, and that's because of TikTok's really strange donation system. Twitch and their bits? Get them out of here. YouTube just having it be cash? Fuck you! TikTok has decided to be that guy. The weirdo. The kid that brought in the tuna sandwich to elementary school lunch. Newsflash, you're stinking up the place, man. I didn't fully even understand what they were worth until I researched it, and it's important that you understand this too. Users can use money to purchase coins, and from there they can purchase a variety of wonderful and wacky emojis that they call gifts. This system adds to the absolute insanity of watching a TikTok live stream because some of the gifts have animations that come with them, like a sailboat coming onto the screen or a giant corgi that shakes its ass. Why are you... What? It's like their live streaming department is run by Cocomelon. That's not a good thing. And the value of these gifts can range from very small, such as the rose or ice cream cone worth about a penny, to some extremely expensive ones, such as the TikTok Universe gift, which is $370. It reminds me of slot machines at casinos with their colorful, bright animations meant to make your brain forget that you just gambled away your child's entire college fund.
Thank you, Playboy. Play kitten.
But surely that can't be intentional by design. Now, these sleeping streams are the first of a category of TikTok lives that are weakly attempting to use reverse psychology on people. They're trying to make it as tempting as possible for the viewer to want the exact opposite of what the streamer supposedly is trying to do. And the only way to sabotage the streamer is by sending money to the streamer. Do you get where this is going? So in many ways, it is a net positive for the streamer because I don't think that they care about counting to 1 quintillion. Oh my god. I feel like you would have to be older than the universe itself to be able to be counting to that number. When you enter the stream though, he just so happens to be on that last couple hundred digits. He's almost there. But if you send a corgi, you can entirely reset his clicks, which doesn't seem worth it if you've been counting for that long. But other viewers who want him to complete his task, well, they could just send a fucking heart thing, and then he's just back at the number he was at. I really love the commentary that comes from these streamers because you can tell that they're constantly goading the viewers into being against each other.
Oh my god, Kikalia! Oh! Oh! Anime King! Yeah, boy.
And when he manages to get to that final number and you think he's about to complete his task, he starts counting down.
10, 9.
What are you doing? You're so
8,
close. You're almost
7,
there.
6, 5. Oh my
No.
Now he's got to start from 1. But of all of these donation baiting streams, my favorite has to be Galaxy Kid.
Stop saying this in the galaxy's the hub. We are not getting a galaxy. No one is gonna.
There's a lot to unpack here. Let's do it. So he's building a house of cards, and the entire time he's like goading the viewers into sending a Galaxy gift, which is worth about $10.
Stop it. We are not getting a galaxy.
This is a lot of energy to be expending over $10. But this live stream does really well. The first time I found him, there was almost 6,000 people watching him do this shit. He's doing everything in his power to make sure that any person that stumbles upon this live stream will hate him in the deepest parts of their soul. He's perfected his tone of voice, so it vibrates at a frequency that activates the rage part of our brain. He is a scientist. The chat is constantly saying, send a galaxy, as he's acting as if he's gonna be publicly executed if he doesn't finish this card tower. He's even got a face filter on that makes it appear as if he was like wearing mascara and he's crying it all off. However, I made a shocking discovery. I recorded this TikTok live in September, but then he was recommended to me in October doing the same thing. And what I noticed is that it's not actually a live stream, it's a fucking video. Here is both of the screen recordings played next to each other. Nice try, Galaxy Kid. Galaxy Kid has been playing 4D chess this entire time. Galaxy Kid. Whenever this dude is looking for some extra cash, he'll just boot up his pre-recorded stream of him losing his mind over a house of cards and then probably just go play Call of Duty or something as the galaxies roll into his bank account. The side hustle of side hustles. There's also a large amount of what I would call donate to play streams. One of these is like Street Fighter, where you've got Donald Trump fighting Barack Obama, with their punching being controlled by how much you donate. Or what appears to be a race between Trump, Biden, Vladimir Putin, and Volodymyr Zelensky. There's even a TikTok live that tries to answer the age-old question from elementary school. Who's better, boys or girls? And let's not forget, boys are blue and girls are pink, the way it's always been. And if you disagree, time to, let's get a mop on aisle 3 for these liberal tears. These all operate as kind of like a money generator that preys upon the divisive nature of politics on the internet, or just anyone arguing on the internet. As if someone watching is like, holy crap, if I can make Trump punch the shit out of Biden, then they'll make him president. Now, before we keep looking at these terrible TikTok lives, I actually have some breaking news today. This video is sponsored by our friends at Rhino Shield. Hi, I'm Doug Pistol with TED News. Bill?
Thanks, Doug. The rumors are true, and everybody's been talking about it. Rhino Shield cannot stop making these incredibly protective and customizable phone cases and accessories. They're so obsessed with doing this, it's getting kind of creepy. People are saying that Rhino Shield has an endless amount of customization options, with different case styles, colors, and thousands of print designs. It's honestly making me sick to my stomach thinking about this level of customization. Greg?
Thanks, Bill. Now, I'm getting word that Rhino Shield has managed to create an incredible level of protection with their phone cases, especially when paired with their screen protector. And with their new phone grip, the number of people dropping phones on their faces has begun to plummet. Doug? Thanks, Greg. Now, I'm being told by our producers that Rhino Shield has a lifetime warranty with free replacements, and Rhino Shield currently, right now, is having a biggest sale of the year Black Friday sale with up to 60% off. That's that. I'm also being told that if you use code TED, you can get an extra 10% off in addition to those Black Friday sales. What are you saying? The link is in the description. Now let's get back to our scheduled broadcast. TikTok also has their fair share of prophets and psychics, clairvoyants, prognosticators. Sounds like something you'd stick up your ass. The first psychic I ran into was this woman who's using 2 metal rods to answer questions from the people in her chat. I don't know if she's supposed to be speaking to ghosts or something. All someone has to do is send their name and their question, and she will have an answer for you immediately.
Will Tamaya ever be successful? Let her know. You have to put some time and effort into it, but it is a yes for that, my love. Nothing is impossible.
What? She is slamming through predictions. She's got the ghosts in some sort of extortion situation, because They are working hard for this TikTok live stream. People are also asking some crazy questions too. Will Tracy get the pardon? Will my son's father come back home today? Will my tax return be here this month? Is Emmanuel cheating on me? You're gonna go to a psychic on TikTok to ask that? Please leave that relationship. You got these psychics that don't even show up on camera. She's got like a glorified magic 8-ball in order to answer the questions. And this is how that device works.
It's a no for you, my darling.
I don't know if the people viewing this stream have heard of magnets, but when they do, they're gonna lose their mind. They don't take the magnet's word for it entirely, though. They add a little bit of pizzazz into the mix.
Soft yes. Soft yes.
A soft yes? Where are we getting that from? That is yes in caps. Seems pretty cut and dry to me. Another stream seems like they're trying not to get sued by clarifying no pregnancy or health questions. That's a good move. Because if I was pregnant and I asked if the baby was going to be born with health problems or not, and I got the answer, you decide, I would be a bit confused. But you know someone is probably going to ask a question like, is it my fault that dad left? And it's going to land on probably, and it's going to fuck them up for the rest of their lives. The best TikTok live psychic, though, is this woman claiming that she will bring her viewers messages from heaven. God, that's beautiful. That's a really good sentiment. I'm really happy that she's doing that. She got 30% of the text on there wrong. Unlike the other TikTok psychics who are just slamming through predictions, this woman is only willing to do readings for people that are her top gifter. And she makes that incredibly clear.
I can't have all spirits coming through, so you need to show respect by getting up on my gifter list 1,000 coins. Please show love. Thank you for the flower. Once you're at 1,000 coins, you get on my list. I will communicate with you. Please become a top gifter to win a 2-hour mediumship in private with me, which is $250. So try to win it.
She's all business. So I sat in for one of these readings. It was pretty much exactly what I expected.
Okay. Communication. I'm seeing a man. This is your grandfather coming through. Your grandfather is showing me he's there watching you. He wants you to take better care of yourself, okay? You're going through a lot of turmoil in a relationship right now. Or a relationship you're in right now is very toxic.
You're in a toxic relationship? This is something that grandpa is saying? Someone's grandpa does not care about a toxic relationship. They probably don't even know what it is. Those fuckers were getting married at 18 and staying married for 62 years until they died. But all of a sudden, this grandfather's talking like a BuzzFeed article written by a millennial in Brooklyn. Yep, I fought in the war. I was at Iwo Jima. Slit a guy's stomach open with a bayonet. America had such a toxic relationship with the Japanese Empire back then.
Now, when I feel about how your grandfather passed away, I am feeling something in the throat down to the chest.
The chest?
I feel that this passing was probably from the heart.
Oh, you mean like heart disease, the leading cause of death in America.
If you're a non-believer, please leave. Thank you for all the gifts, guys. I appreciate it. Ignore the haters, please. It's just jealousy.
Of what? That people's family members are dead? Or that you're making money off of their grief? There's a strange level of dystopia from someone saying that they can speak to their dead relatives on the internet while simultaneously thanking the viewers for putting a baseball cap on their head.
Thank you for the baseball hats. Thank you so much. Okay, so we are doing your cousin.
I think of all of these TikTok live categories, though, my favorite has to be what I can only describe as the big phone genre.
Thank you, my lovely. Have a wonderful day, my anime editor.
Because that's exactly what it is. There's a woman with a massive Android phone, and she's got a pointer, and this is all she does.
My top one, let me see you now. Who is going to be the next one, guys? Always remember.
They're speaking as if they're running an auction. What are they selling? And she's asking the chat if they want to be a star, like she's going to make them famous.
If you want to be famous, are you ready to be a star?
How does she make people stars? Well, she'll visit your profile and just like a bunch of your TikToks. Initially, I thought this woman was the only person doing this and that she was unique in this type of live stream until I kept running into more and more TikTok lives of women in office cubicles with giant Android phones. What is going on in these TikTok lives? With the microphone and the fucking pointer stick. Who's going to these live streams on a regular basis? Is anyone doing that? Oh, I gotta catch up and see what they're doing on the big phone. Where are they even getting these giant Android phones from? I want one. I'm not even the one operating the giant phone, and watching this, I'm stressed out for them. Is there something going on here? Do you have a surgically implanted bomb in your neck? Why are you doing this? We know that TikTok itself has an algorithm that's designed to keep users in its app for as long as humanly possible. But it seems that users have discovered that within their live streams, they too can create a system in which they can rope users into watching the most bottom of the barrel content. Whether that's taking advantage of their anxiety and questions about life, handing
handling their grief or figuring out once and for all that boys are better than girls. Because girls pee blood and boys, well, they pee garlic aioli.
And if you like this video, Galaxy guys, please send me a Galaxy. My rent is due tomorrow and my landlord owns a gun. Hello, it's Ted, back sooner than expected with a lesson in following your dreams. When we were young, people always asked us what we want to be when we grow up. I'm sure some of you answered with things such as a firefighter or a painter or a massive 7-foot-tall muscle rat. I know I did. But in the case of a man by the name of Jeremy DeWitt, he answered police officer and then never stopped for the rest of his life. You see, Jeremy DeWitt runs a company called Metro State Special Services, which, according to their very own website, provides motorcycle escorts for funerals and VIPs. And holy crap, does he take that role seriously.
Out of my funeral! Get the fuck over before you find out! Stop! Stop pretending you're a police officer.
Sometimes you have to follow your dreams so hard that you end up facing 85 years in prison for impersonating a police officer. That's the nature of passion, and that's a commitment to your craft. I didn't originally know about this man Jeremy DeWitt, but luckily I caught my buddy Tucker giggling at his phone when he was visiting me in LA. And like the content creator I am, I turned on a camera and we got to indulge in some of the best moments of the man that just cannot stop impersonating a cop. Enjoy. And let me just nail this point in right now. He is not a cop, has no connection to any police department whatsoever. This man is a civilian.
He loves that little horn.
He's really using that like...
there's no need.
There is an expectation that people will move over for him.
He thinks he's a cop.
Because his job of escorting a dead body is so important.
I've been to a few funerals. We've never had an escort. Look, he's even got hash marks on the side of his whatever uniform he's made for his own company.
Yeah.
If you were a cop or a Marine or whatever, it would symbolize like how many years of service you have. He's probably done like four enlistments on his own company.
Can you imagine, like, your loved one has just died? Maybe a little bit of a rough day.
One of the darker days of your life.
One of the darker days of your life. And then you've got Jeremy DeWitt on his fucking bike.
There's this underling. Look, it's this Metro State Vehicle Protection Unit.
On the black and white vehicle with a fucking insignia next to it. Why do they need a vehicle protection unit? Is somebody going to steal the dead body?
When was the last time a funeral came under fire? These guys are putting the funeral in jeopardy.
You say.
I'd like to think he's just making hand gestures that don't make any sense to all of this surrounding person.
We gotta tell him to slow the fuck down. We're too far extended. Way fucking too far.
Like they're gonna get ambushed.
Yeah, like the fucking Taliban's gonna come over the hill.
Their worst case scenario is someone on their way to work cuts in.
Dude. Do you see how fast he's going?
Hey there!
Don't fucking move!
Person's in the other lane.
They're not even involved.
Person going to Target.
Come on! Dude, get the fuck out of the way! Get out of the way! Move your fucking car, dog. Dumb fuck. Dumbass.
He's so rude. When you just wave your hands around, people don't know what you want. He's so in his, like, own world. It's crazy.
This is a police escort.
There it is. There's the evidence.
Did he actually said that?
He's on trial now, or he was, or whatever, based on his own videos.
Oh my god, he's absolutely fucking whipping it right now.
Stop! You! Get over now! I'm out of gas!
He's out of gas!
The way he yelled at who, like, the level of the gas in their vehicle surprises them. We're like, whoa! Usually it's like, you're like, oh, I'm at a quarter of a tank.
I want to hear that again. That's so funny.
I'm out of gas!
The level of desperation. He's gonna have to pull over and get gas, and the convoy's gonna come under fire. He's GoProing it. Cops don't even GoPro.
Cops specifically don't GoPro. Cops have been legislatively forced to GoPro. And this guy is like, oh yeah, I'll wear a body cam, and I'm putting it on YouTube.
He's got a badge.
He's got a badge! He's got a fucking badge, dude.
So as you notice, he's going for the regular, but then he realizes on GoPro, he goes for the premium.
So he finishes his gas, he gets the thing going, and he is
right
whipping it. He's got to be going like
probably 70, 80 right now.
80 miles an hour or something like that. He was fucking knife handing that dude, like he was using the force on this guy so he could prevent him from going. No! Like
it's Kylo Ren.
Hey! 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 Pull over!
That guy could not be more unfazed.
Pull your fucking car over!
He sounds like he's about to cry.
Pull over!
He saw the convoy and he was like, I drew the short straw on today's commute. Right now he's pulling a person over.
Or he's attempting to.
This guy's like, you see that? What the fuck do you want me to do?
They make it seem like the president is rolling through town.
He's hitting the car! He's hitting the guy's car! It'd be on the news if it was like traffic cop slams on person's car for not moving over within 30 seconds of being notified that he's moving over.
And the whole time that other guy's standing in front of his car. They have him boxed in.
He's literally trapped.
Get your fucking car out of the way now! I don't give a fuck what you don't understand!
Didn't even let him like finish what he was saying. He was like, I don't even know what you want me to do.
Pull forward now! Pull forward now!
What are these cars over here thinking? They must be like, this cop is out of control.
Stop there! What the fuck is your problem?
Look at his face.
Dumbstruck.
I could be asking the same question to you, sir.
I didn't know what's the problem back there. Sit there!
And he just leaves
And then
him.
he just leaves him. And then he just leaves him! And you know for a fact the guy was just like, sees him driving away and the guy was like,
It's probably like a dream for that guy. Like, that guy went home and told his wife.
honey, I think I got pulled over today.
But maybe not.
And I think that they were escorting a funeral. Are you sure? No, I'm not.
He always gets as far into the other lane as he can.
He's basically fucking British at this point.
This guy is acting as if he's a cop. Frickin' 9/11's going on.
I don't think I've ever been this stressed in my entire life.
No. This guy probably looks 20 years older than he is.
Ooh, that was nice. Nice move.
Got double XP on that one.
Yeah.
It's just a game to this guy.
I could absolutely guarantee you this dude has had his cock under his waistband the entire time because he's got a hard boner right now.
I'm sorry?
You guys law enforcement?
Are you okay?
I'm great. Are you law enforcement?
I'm asking you a question. Are you okay?
If you're not law enforcement, I'm not stopping for you.
Listen, if you keep going, we'll figure it out real fast.
He's like just saying
He will
nothing.
not answer the question.
He's saying nothing to him.
We're with Metro State. We're a state certified agency. You sit right there, please, sir. Come on, man. Get out of the fucking way. I gotta deal with this fucking idiot. Move.
This guy's out of control.
Please don't continue.
Fuck you.
Hey, fuck boy. Hey, piece of shit, fuck boy. Motherfuck, fuck
Reach
boy.
for it.
He's absolutely the kind of guy that if he got punched in the face, he would turn into
He'd
a
be
baby.
on the ground in the middle of the intersection.
Rolling around.
Calling for all units. The incompetency in this kind of business must be insane. It'd be almost like if a bunch of airsofters became cops.
Go to the turning lane, recycle.
Recycle? They're on code names.
They're on code names. You got artillery, you got recycle.
This guy's probably like, when people show up, he's like, you're gonna get a nickname.
You look like you like to recycle like a bitch. I'm gonna call you Recycle from now on. DeWitt does not believe in recycling. He doesn't know what it
He doesn't know,
means.
yeah, he doesn't know what it is.
He just thinks that the word is fun.
This is acting like Joe Biden just landed and they're rolling through the town on
Yeah.
a top secret mission.
Yeah. This is the most recent arrest of Jeremy DeWitt.
Leave my camera alone. Go ahead and sit up. Stay right there.
Justice.
This is justice. Look at his fucking boots. Dude, look at his fucking boots. He fucking shines those every night. His mother comes into the room and you gotta go to bed, son. Mother! No! I have to shine my boots. Otherwise, the funeral proceedings will not go as planned. There was a Dr. Phil segment that was talking about this Jeremy DeWitt thing. And he actually goes and he talks to Dr. Phil, which is ridiculous.
Law enforcement is accusing myself and my contractors of impersonating law enforcement. Nothing could be further from the truth. Even though we wear the high-vis yellow shirts and we are using the purple flashing lights, some law enforcement
thin blue line.
As he goes to testify on live television for the fact that he is in fact not a cop.
My company has received a total of 86 citations for running red lights or using an air horn. We've gone to court 30 to 40 different times.
You'd think that he'd stop going to court if he went to court 30 to 40 times, but he doesn't.
While on funeral escort, an off-duty officer hit me with his vehicle While he was cutting in and out of the funeral, I slammed my hands on the hood to push myself away so he wouldn't actually run me over.
Yeah, right.
I was arrested for impersonating a law enforcement officer. If convicted, I could face up to 85 years in prison.
There he is.
Look at that.
He looks so fucking proud of himself.
Jeremy, how are you?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm all right.
Dr. Phil is sighing.
So this is your motorcycle?
Yes, sir.
And you've got 18 of these?
Yes, sir, we do.
And they're all this way, right?
Yes, sir.
He's so respectful.
That's how he gets you.
Can we hear it?
Sure, yes, sir.
That's so loud.
Look at these double flashlight and baton.
He's got a baton. Implies that, like, he might need to hit someone.
Like someone was resisting arrest.
And you think you've been harassed a lot by the police down there.
Yes,
Why
sir.
are they picking on you?
My past.
My past. He says my past, and then it is this shot of him dressed with the fucking short sleeves tight.
Couldn't look more like a cop.
His nipples
legally.
are absolutely perky as all
He's
hell.
excited.
He's so excited to talk about the fact that he's
Not a cop.
not a cop.
Well, what about your past?
Well, sir, once upon a time when I was a very young man, while in the academy, I impersonated a law enforcement officer.
Really? Really? Well, Jeremy, I wouldn't expect such a thing from you.
Yeah, but this was like years and
1998.
years.
Yeah, this is years and years ago.
I'm
You've
done with
learned
that.
your ways. You're
I
not
learned my
doing that
lesson.
shit anymore. Of course not. At the end of the day, this guy is a ridiculous character. The funerals these days, they're not getting the protection they need, and Jeremy, he's really bringing the strength and valor to the table that he needs.
2020 taught us anything. It's that funerals, more now than ever, need our support.
God damn. Just a quick announcement before I let you guys go. I am going to be launching the third and final drop of the Good Stuff merch line that I've been doing for the last year. We'll have the skeleton tee, which people really like. We'll have this embroidered sweatshirt that says the Good Stuff on it in 2 separate colors. We'll have the original milk tie-dye long sleeve, and it'll also come in another color, and the Serve Cold tie-dye tee. And the actual physical clothing that we're printing on this time around is a much higher quality material. I felt this would be another cool way to celebrate hitting 1 million subscribers by launching the original designs from my first merch launch. It's all going to be dropping in mid-September. I don't have a specific date yet, but if you follow me on Twitter, you will know that date very soon. Thanks for watching this video, folks, and I will... Quick announcement before the video starts. I got a brand new podcast I started with my best friend Tucker. It's called Take It Easy. It's brand new. It's hot off the press. I'm really excited about it. I wanted to do something like this with Tucker for years now. And we got a Patreon where there's a bunch of bonus content and gaming content and an advice show that I run. Check it out if you want. Check it out if you're cool. And now on to the video. So about 2 months ago, I was advertised this show on TikTok, Return of His Majesty. It was about a man that had become the Emperor of China, and he decided to go back to his hometown and marry the woman that he said he would when he became the Emperor. But with one catch. He would pretend to be a normal peasant so that people wouldn't make a big deal. You know, because of the paparazzi. Reasonably, nobody believed that he was the Emperor. But he kept up the act for so long and kept escalating the situation by implying that he was the Emperor that every person in power disrespected him and showed their corruption. And it ended with him revealing the truth and executing everybody. It seems like a simple plot. 1.5 hour long movie. I was so engrossed in how long this ordeal would keep up that I actually downloaded the app and paid for premium so I could watch the whole thing. A moment of weakness. I can't say I'm proud of that one. What I didn't realize is that it wasn't $15 a month, it was $15 a week. And I forgot to cancel my subscription. So I've been paying 4 times the amount that I thought I was. It was like taking candy from a baby, except that I'm the baby and the candy was $150. But from this experience, I became interested in this specific category of these TikTok-like movies, and that category is hidden identity. Hiding amongst the trees, being all hidden, hiding around. Who is that guy? Hidden identity. Every movie in this category creates a level of tension or satisfaction for the viewer by utilizing dramatic irony, which is just a fancy way of saying that the viewer knows something that a lot of the characters and people in a story do not. And I get why they make these. It can be satisfying to be in on it in a matter of speaking while the characters on screen are flailing around and don't know what they're doing. And we get to say to the screen, "Oh, you're in for it now, buddy." Everyone says that. There's probably more hidden identity stories on these apps than any of the other popular categories they have, such as favorites like werewolf or a strange fascination with the mafia. But in my peruse of these hidden identity stories, none have even come close to being as convoluted and multi-layered as the movie that we're going to be talking about today, which is My Loser Daddy is a Big Shot. Right off the bat, amazing title. Simultaneously insults Daddy, but also hypes him up. And to be clear, this movie is not to be confused with other very prominent prominent daddy titles on the Real Shorts app, such as Mommy, Don't Cry, Daddy is Sorry, Spoiled by the Daddy's CEO during pregnancy, or who could forget, Mommy, Quick, Daddy's hot on our tail. My Loser Daddy is a Big Shot is an action film. It's a mystery, it's a drama, there's love triangles, there's action, there's intrigue. It involves the military, politicians, royalty, and corporations. But either way, let's dive right into it. The movie opens up with Ethan Woods, the main character, saving his daughter Cassie from some mercenaries that had kidnapped her. He's supposed to be this incredibly skilled special ops guy, but I also think he's a super soldier.
Daddy!
You caught the bullet?
Because he can catch bullets. I can't do that. And my mom thinks I'm really special. It didn't even look like the bullet went anywhere near his hand. Like, he for sure got shot in the chest. But he's like, I actually caught it. Pretty sure I shot you in the chest. No, I caught it. What do you mean? I can see it's still in its casing. Why? This is yours. I know it is. I caught it. No, well, okay. I can see you're bleeding. I can see that you're bleeding right now. You're bleeding. I just do that. What? Yeah. Sometimes I bleed. Sorry. You have a bullet wound. I'm disabled. You've been shot. Oh, you're gonna make fun of a disabled man? No. You're gonna make fun of a disabled man? No, I'm not like that. Fuck you, man. I caught it. There's also some pretty funny transitions between each section in this movie, too. Like, at one point, he's 15 feet away from this guy, and then it goes to the next episode, and he's right on him. Got a knife to his neck.
You can threaten me all you want, but no one, absolutely no one threatens my daughter.
Well, he's going a bit further than threatening you. Stop threatening me. He straight up tried to shoot you. He did shoot you.
Are you okay, sweetheart?
Just fully executes a man in front of his daughter.
I tried to warn them.
Oh, she's used to this. After saving his daughter, the rest of Ethan's team show up, and we find out that they're trying to find the killers of a man named General Osborn, as well as root out any traitors to their organization, the Guardian Force. And this is where Ethan begins his hidden identity journey.
Keep searching. I'm going undercovers.
I'll set you up with a cover job.
What was that?
I'm going undercovers.
Huh? What was that?
I'm going undercovers.
At first I thought this was a typo in the subtitles. He actually said that he was going undercovers. I enjoy that. That's like the military way of saying he's going to have a nap. And then also, despite going undercover, Ethan's also got a date in the city because he wants to provide Cassie with a mom.
Get me home. I got a date.
Daddy, you're finally gonna get me a mommy?
Single father problems, am I right? But before we keep going on with this movie, we need to talk about today's sponsor, which is Saley. To put it simply, Saley is an easy-to-use and affordable eSIM service that provides reliable mobile and internet connection plans in over 190 countries across the world. I was pretty excited about this sponsor because I'm going to be traveling abroad this summer with my family, and I wasn't really looking forward to having to pay as much as I have been for roaming fees. Respectfully, they're bleeding me dry. And let's be honest, nobody wants to be desperately looking around for a Wi-Fi connection in a McDonald's in Bangkok when you could just have an eSIM and save yourself the stress. With Saley, an eSIM only needs to be installed once, so you don't have to keep installing a new eSIM for each country. You save time because you don't have to wait in line at the airport to get a local SIM card. And you won't get tricked by some devious scammer selling fake SIM cards outside train stations and airports. Get out of here! Okay, geez. And they've got 24/7 support, so you can get assistance when something isn't right. The interface is pretty simple and user-friendly, so even if you're a first-time eSIM user, it can work for you. And all Saley eSIM plans are compatible with iOS or Android devices. So what are you waiting for? Permission? You've got it. So go download the app or go to saley.com/Nivison and use code Nivison at checkout to get an exclusive 15% discount on Saley data plans. Thank you guys for supporting the sponsor. Now let's get back to the video.
The chopper will take you back to the city.
Remember to keep my identity hidden.
Yes, sir.
Why is that even a question when it comes to going undercover? Does he need to remind them of this every time? All right, I'm heading out on my mission. Oh, by the way, make sure to keep my identity hidden, please. Again? I really wanted to tell my friends this time. Nope, gotta keep it hidden. Ugh. You're no fun. Before we continue, I need to break down Ethan's hidden identity for you because it has several layers. At the first layer, you've got his cover, which is Ethan Woods. Not a cover name, just his real name. And he's working as a dishwasher. He used to be in the army, but he disappeared for several years because of his second layer, which is that he was the leader of SEAL Team 6 during that time, which was classified, so he didn't tell his family and friends. On the third and final layer, Ethan is the commander of the Guardian Force, which is like a peacekeeping/spy organization that's super powerful. This is his true identity. So Ethan was in the army, joined the Navy SEALs, and is now the commander of the Guardian Force. But what people think is that he was in the army, he disappeared for several years, and now he's shown back up as a dishwasher. That's his hidden identity, so let's get back into it. The next day, while Ethan is waiting for his date, we are introduced to Leanne Osborne, who is the CEO of the Osborne Group. She's on the phone refusing to marry a man named Raymond Stewart, who is a member of their rival corporation, the Stewart Group, because she just doesn't like him. And apparently marrying him would somehow merge their companies.
I'm not marrying Raymond Stewart. A merger would just take my power away.
So I guess corporate life is kind of how like royal families work in this world. I don't think the writers understand how corporations even work because this is like weird lore. Either way, Leanne's plan is to marry someone on paper quick so she can't be forced to marry Raymond. Meanwhile, Ethan's date Tina shows up, who happens to be a project director at the Osborne Group, and I don't think that a date could go south as fast and as badly as it does here.
So,
Daddy.
you have a kid?
Yeah, I mentioned I was a single father.
So if he told her, she has no right to be upset. Why is she acting surprised?
What do you do for work?
I'm a veteran, and I just got a job here as a dishwasher.
A dishwasher? That pays nothing. On top of that, you're a single dad? What on earth made you think you could date me?
What's funny about this moment is that later on in the film, it's revealed that this was a blind date. But he still let her know that he was a single father beforehand. He was transparent about that. But she begins to berate Ethan for his salary as a dishwasher, bragging that her bag costs more than what he makes in a year. And very early on into this interaction, Ethan's like, you can leave.
I need a man that puts me first, not his kid.
You can leave whenever you want.
But she keeps going.
You went to the army because you had no other option.
That's none of your business.
It is when you're wasting my time.
Please don't be angry. Here, this flower's for you.
Nobody wants your stupid flower. And don't touch my bag.
She wasn't even near your bag.
I couldn't even afford to clean my bag. Even if you sold your daughter.
Dude, why does she keep going? What is her problem?
Please leave.
Ethan, you have no idea who you're dealing with, do you?
Ethan, you son of a bitch. I will burn everything that you know and love. How dare you try to go on a date with me as a dishwasher, you dirty, dirty boy. I will eat your daughter. Even the kid's like, this woman's a psychopath.
Dad, why won't you leave?
Don't tell me what to do, brat.
I love how real that reaction is. Ethan is speechless that someone like this could even exist. She's got to be rocking RFK brainworms or something. She's got to have a parasite chewing on her amygdala, at least. Like, this can't just be because he works as a dishwasher and is a single father, is it? Luckily, Leanne overhears this whole conversation and she confronts Tina, and Tina starts being evil to her too.
You said you work at Osborne Group? Who the fuck are you? Why do you care?
She doesn't recognize the CEO of the company she works at? She's got bloodlust. She can't even see straight.
Your name's Tina, right? Why? Scared now?
By your name? Ah, yes, the scariest name in the world. Tina. So Leanne fires Tina for her behavior towards Ethan and Cassie. This woman needs help. After firing Tina, Leanne proposes the idea of getting married to Ethan, saying that she just needs it for the paperwork and she'll give Cassie a very good life. So Ethan just agrees and they get married. Immediately upon moving into Leanne's home, Ethan discovers that her house has been bugged.
Military grade bug.
Who the hell would bug my house?
You're under surveillance.
And that may be my favorite moment in this movie happens.
Hey, won't you come on out? You've been waiting long enough.
Dragon Jack, what are you doing here?
An immediate response. They had to be at the door, waiting. Also, Dragon Jack? Who is this character? Apparently they're part of a secret assassination organization called Dragon X, but the costumes do not line up with that job description. It looks like Dragon Jack came from a Peaky Blinders audition, and the other guys he just picked up from a convenience store. So Dragon Jack and his goons are there to force Leanne to sign a marriage contract with Raymond Stewart, but she once again refuses. So Dragon Jack tries to coerce her by threatening her assistant by creating some sort of like Robin Hood scenario with an apple on her head. This guy's got to be the Craigslist hire. He's got to be. Guy on the right snarling, and then the other guy's like, wait, what are we doing here? What's the plan here? Luckily, Ethan intervenes right before the knife can hit her assistant.
Let me show you how this is done.
And this turns into a lot of back and forth. Ethan gets his gun. Dragon Jack's throwing out a lot of threats.
Drop the gun, or my men outside will come in here and kill everyone.
My men, all wearing progressively more elaborate and confusing outfits, will come in and kill everyone. I've even got a mime with a rocket launcher. Do you understand how terrifying that is?
I've got 30 men outside, and they'll beat your dad to a pulp.
Oh shit, he's got 30 more guys Ethan's got to fight? Some might say this is about to get really intense.
Either they take me out, or I take them out.
Dragon Jack, seems like you're short about 20, that's 2 guys! And I cannot get over the costumes that these members of a secret assassination organization are wearing. They either came from an Imagine Dragons concert or they're gearing up to play airsoft in the woods. So Ethan goes outside with all of the Dragon X-goons, beats him up, and lets Jack go for some reason. And later that night, Leanne offers to pay for him and Cassie to flee the country, but he doesn't want this.
As your legal husband, I'm responsible for your safety. Don't worry, I can protect you.
I'll protect you, especially after how we just got attacked today.
Tomorrow I'm actually going to my dad's house for his birthday. It's been a while since I've seen my family, so I'm gonna get some rest.
Oh, but actually, I also need to go to my dad's birthday tomorrow. So, the day after tomorrow, I'll protect you. The day after tomorrow, that's when I'll start protecting you. Ethan then finds out from his second-in-command, Brooklyn, that Leanne is the sister of Steve Osborne, the guy he's trying to solve the killing of.
No wonder Steven mentioned the Osborne group before he died.
Really, Ethan? No wonder the guy with the same last name of the company my new wife is the CEO of that mentioned the company before he died is involved. Whoa.
Just remember to keep my identity with the Guardian Force a secret.
Yes, sir.
Why does he keep having to tell her this? It's starting to feel like she's known for not being able to keep a secret.
Hey, real quick, you're keeping my identity hidden, right? Yes, I said I would. You better be, because I'm undercover. Yeah, no, I get it. Don't tell people.
But I want to. Don't. I really
Do not.
want to tell people. I have to.
Don't do it.
One post,
No,
dude.
no,
One
don't.
post. Come on.
Don't do it.
Just one post? One post, please?
Don't do it.
What a fucking asshole. So the next day, Ethan and Cassie show up to his dad's birthday. And this brings us to the first of a unique type of scene that I've found in these hidden identity movies, which I have named a gauntlet. A gauntlet is a scene in a hidden identity movie where almost all of the characters there are unbelievably unsympathetic antagonists to the main character. There is nothing that they say or do that can be viewed in a positive light. And they're all really angry and evil, almost to the point where it feels like you're in a dream. It's surreal. On top of that, every antagonist has a set of established beliefs about the main character that is so unbelievably resistant to change that they rapidly escalate their aggression when it's challenged, and anything introduced that they don't know already is assumed to either be a lie or a scam. That's how they work. Now, the 3 rules of a gauntlet are: 1, it can only be resolved by an outside person of authority entering the scene and punishing someone. 2, that punishment is either being fired or being executed. And 3, there is always at least 1 slap. But often, there is more. When the main character enters a gauntlet scene, it's kind of like entering a boss room in Dark Souls, or at the end of Halo Reach where the mission just says to survive. And with how weirdly these scenes operate, when he wakes up, Santa has amnesia.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. Who are you?
Who am I?
He doesn't know who he is, which is a problem because being Santa Claus and having amnesia means that you're basically just a stranger dressed as Santa who is now living in a tent in Jeremy's backyard. And so Jeremy thinks it would be a fantastic idea to introduce Santa in this state to his mom, and it goes just about as smoothly as you'd expect. So they're showing that Santa is half remembering the fact that he had a hat that he could utilize to do the magic that he would do. But for the mom, whose only context is this is a man dressed as Santa Claus who doesn't remember who he is and is now being pitched as someone to live in her backyard and is constantly itching his nose. He kind of just looks like he's addicted to coke. He looks like a coke addict. Like, look at him. He looks actually insane. So now Jeremy calls all of his friends over to try to help Santa jog his memory back. And this results in just like a bunch of kids sitting on Santa's lap and asking for toys. And then Jeremy sits on Santa's lap and tries his amnesia an excuse for her kids to be hanging out with a random guy dressed as Santa. That makes it more dangerous, doesn't it? So Jeremy's dad is rightfully freaking out. And I know we don't really like the dad, but he's technically the only one having a reasonable reaction to this situation. And I love these scenarios in Christmas movies because they always set up the people that don't believe in Santa as like these closed-minded fools. And it makes sense as a family movie because watching this type of movie as a kid, I'd be like, this idiot doesn't know Santa Claus is real. But in reality, they're kind of the least delusional person in that moment. Finally, after a lot of back and forth and also Santa airing out Bob's dirty laundry of all the things he did bad as a child, that sled. I like how it seems like Atlas reacted not to the fact that Santa isn't on his way to Pluto, but rather that he landed in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Seattle would have been no problem. Chicago a breeze. Los Angeles? Bad news. So he sends his henchmen to go kidnap Santa, and they get launched to Los Angeles and are rolling around the streets of LA in a white van, eventually finding Santa by hacking into the cameras filming the movie. And their first attempt to kidnap Santa goes, like, very poorly. Most of the stuff that these guys do goes poorly, though, since they're sort of meant to be a reference to the Three Stooges, kind of, I think.
Find him now!
They basically dress up as government workers that need to check Jeremy's house, and this turns into like a Scooby-Doo scene. But they use no music and only voiceover, so it doesn't really seem like they're sneaking. It seems like they're being incredibly loud. Isn't this supposed to be a kid's movie? Because Agnes is currently threatening Mrs. Claus with exiling her husband into the vacuum of space unless she's physically intimate with him. That doesn't seem like a PG top. That's like a horror movie. Anyways, the next night, Agnes's minions do what they pretty much should have done in the first place, which is to sneak into Jeremy's home at night and kidnap Santa. It's not even really hard for them. They kind of just walk into the garage and take Santa, and that was it. And then they haul Santa to Agnes's old hideout, and then very soon after, Jeremy realizes that Santa is gone. And the elves end up sending Pointer through a teleporter to get to Jeremy's room with Santa's magic hat, so that they can both together go find Santa and bring him his hat back. He doesn't tell his parents he's doing this, by the way. But in order to find Santa, they need to go to an FOS, which is why that 30-second clip existed, so Jeremy would have the knowledge to know to go to that card shop. So, okay, there's moral lore here, so bear with me. The card shop owner, Earl, is part of some secret cabal called the Friends of Santa, which I don't even think that was in the script. That was a human reaction. This detective is so right. Earl's speaking in riddles, like an interrogation defense mechanism or something.
If you know something, anything about where Jeremy might be, you've got to tell us.
The last thing Jeremy said that he wanted for Christmas was to have his parents get along.
Now, okay.
Now, why would he wish for that?
Now listen, Earl, you can't just go and start bringing up your marriage problems. That's foul play. So back to Jeremy and Pointer. They're teleported to a location and have no idea where they are, but they figure it out in like the weirdest way.
Let's go this way.
But what if it's the other way? I just don't know which way to go.
Sometimes you gotta go this way.
What? You also might be wrong. What? But that just seems to work because they keep going and they see Agnes's goons like make a bridge disappear. But Jeremy decides he's just got to get across this bridge.
I gotta do it. I just gotta.
And even against Pointer's suggestion, someone who's probably a little bit more acquainted with Santa-based magic, Jeremy just decides if he believes in Christmas really hard, he'll make the bridge reappear. It'd be like a really stale title by the time he turns into a teenager, because if he told anyone that, they would think he's so weird. I'm the boy who saved... Shut up. And at the end of the movie, Jeremy gets to watch his parents go upstairs and sleep in the same bed again. Yeah. He knows that they're having sex again. And that, my friends, was The Boy Who Saved Christmas. This was probably one of the weirdest Christmas movies I've ever found. I had a blast watching it, though. I loved the actor who played Agnes in particular. Obviously, he had like a really weird script to work with, but he played the part really well. And I think if more people knew about this movie, it would maybe become like a cult classic. It's that ridiculous. Thank you everyone for watching. I'm sorry I've only made like 5 videos this year. I promise that next year will be way better. And since some of you might notice I'm not in the same apartment that I used to be in, I recorded a little message before I moved. Thanks guys so much for watching this video. I'm recording this outro before the beginning of the video because I'm actively moving right now and I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to say goodbye to this office. This has been my office for the last 4 years making YouTube videos since I moved to LA in 2020. I don't know, it feels like a significant event to me, but I mean, you guys might not care at all. This was the office that I hit 1 million subscribers in. It's the office I hit 2 million subscribers in. I spent the last 4 years here. I'm gonna give you guys an opportunity to say goodbye. Let's all say thank you to this office for all the good times it gave us. Thank you. And since I'm moving from this office, I'm only gonna do this once just to give you guys some lore. The Barbie thing is over here. That's where I filmed the Barbie thing. All the crap that I don't want to show up in frame goes over here. That's a little trick we like to call movie magic. So if you're a fan of movie magic, then you're welcome. Another movie series that DreamWorks decided to squeeze the living life out of until the IP ran dry. It's been a while since I've seen Madagascar, but I do remember having a particular love for the penguin that didn't know how to speak. It starred very notable voice actors such as Chris Rock, David Schwimmer, and of course, the illustrious Ben Stiller, who, by the way, was on the cover of Time for most likely to be that one guy that sticks around behind at a party after everyone's left and makes the host very uncomfortable. When you've got such a powerful blockbuster series such as Madagascar, it's to be expected that there are people that are gonna make knockoffs. I've covered knockoff mockbuster movies on this channel before. One of them notably was called The Prodigy, which was a Kung Fu Panda knockoff written by Robert D. Hanna. Well, our boy Robert is back with probably the crowning achievement of his writing, directing, and producing career, a little film called Life's a Jungle. Africa's Most Wanted. There's a slight chance that title might seem familiar to you because it was released the same year as Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted. So I think essentially what good old Bob was trying to do here was he was trying to capitalize off of the hype that was building for the new Madagascar movie. I can't name a single person that was like a fanatic of the Madagascar series. Oh, I gotta fucking see Ben Stiller play a fucking lion. I need to see Chris Rock play a zebra and do the dance. I genuinely just don't know why people would choose this movie over a studio-produced animated film. Or maybe like some 6-year-old's parents just didn't want to pay to take him to the new Madagascar movie, so they just bought a DVD of Life's a Jungle because they're fucking 6 and they don't know the difference. Pretty much the only similarity that this movie has with the entire Madagascar franchise is that you've got an animal living a cushy life that is removed from that environment, and he has to figure out how to sort of make it in the wild. So strap in, buckle on up, get your loins warmed up. Let's watch another terrible movie. This'll be fun. Hey, sorry about the mess. I'm moving out of my childhood home. Quick announcement though. My merch has been live for 4 days now. I'm currently wearing one of the pieces right now. This is the Milk tie-dye shirt. I freaking love it. Me and Leighton Stollard work super freaking hard on these designs, and I hope you guys like them. We've also got the outro design shirt, the Empire State of Milk shirt, the Cream Time hat, and the Cyber Cow War tee. If you're interested in getting this merch, then you can check it out at thegoodstuffmilk.co, and the link is in the description. For all of you who have already purchased merch so far, thank you guys so much. I seriously appreciate the support. It's actually been crazy, and I'm really proud that you guys like the designs as much as I do. All right, back to the video, baby. Listen, no movie review would be complete without reading first a plot summary of the film written by the filmmakers themselves. Pip thought he had it all. A pampered lifestyle, huge mansion, and adoring owners. That is, until the Taylor family booked an African safari. Pip finds himself separated from his clan, which forces him to reluctantly adapt to a new way of life in the jungle. As he bridges the divide between feuding wildlife, he learns that caviar and manicures can never bring the same happiness as friendship. Oh, that's beautiful. That's fucking beautiful. Like any respectable blockbuster set in a jungle, we open up with plenty of really badly tracked, sweeping shots of the jungle in which we spend most of this movie in. It's also sort of a marker for how Robert D. Hanna opens up his movies, because this is practically exactly how The Prodigy opened up. We get a glimpse of the incredible biodiverse atmosphere that Bob's built with this film. It's really incredible, especially with these two fucking birds here. I don't think I could animate a pair of birds that badly, even if I tried. If I was a tiger walking through a jungle and I saw a bird acting like that, I would have been like, "You're first. I'm coming for you." Next up is a 3-toed sloth that is swinging from a very rigid vine. Also, I noticed that there's really no trees that sloth could be swinging from at the moment, because the only things in the area are like 4 bamboo shoots. And they definitely don't have offshoot branches that are strong enough to support a sloth swinging from a vine. He looks like he's doing some sort of reverse pole vaulting that also doesn't consider gravity. This intro lasts for about a minute and a half longer, which I don't know if you know this, but that's actually a minute and a half longer than I would have preferred. Only to end on this incredible shot of a dog wearing a sweater vest exiting a tent on his hind legs. And you might be saying, well, Ted, the animals in Madagascar walk on their hind legs, so that's a strike for me. Well, hold that strike there for one moment, user 1345629, okay? Because the dog literally goes right up to his owner and just starts interacting with him on his hind legs. All right, so the theme has been set, folks, and that theme is there is no consistency on how these animals interact with humans and also each other in regards to stature. Also, this dog is not only wearing a sweater vest, but he's also wearing a shirt under it. Like, this motherfucker's layering. Ooh, this dog's looking like a Gucci model. I regret saying that. So the owner of the dog comes up and starts talking to him, and the dog is still standing on his hind legs. So I guess what we would consider as the audience right away is that this is just a dog that stands on his hind legs, right? Which is an interesting piece of lore to wrap your head around, but it gets more confusing later. So the boy and the dog, whose name that we now know is Pip, start driving across the Sahara because they're going on a safari in the jungle. And there's just this strange lack of sound throughout this whole scene. There's a haunting absence of sound in this scene. It is spooky. And there's also an abundance of incredibly dangerous driving maneuvers on the part of the safari guide. I don't know who hired this guy, but he's gonna fucking kill this family. And he almost does. Eventually they just reach a sign. And what's funny about this sign is that it's only made up of symbols. Like there's just this implication that there's no infrastructure around an organized safari. Like, come on. Who's running the safari? The mafia? Once they reach the jungle, there's this terrible opening shot of them at this place called Vista Point, which I'm pretty sure is a village, but it's populated by rhinos. This is what I was talking about before. Why are rhinos standing when humans are just passing by? And why are they standing like this? I'm not even sure if they're trying to do what they do in Madagascar or even Toy Story, where when humans are around, they pretend like they're not what they actually are. In this case, they don't even care. Can you imagine the fucking power play it would be if you were an intelligent rhino and you were just like, I'm gonna fucking stand up on my hind legs and wave at the humans as they pass by? What is going through the rhino's mind that they're just like, hey, how's it going? So they travel deeper into the jungle, going like 60 miles per hour, first of all, so, you know, illegal. But for some reason, this one rhino is completely minding its own business. But upon seeing the car, it gets beyond pissed off. And he intercepts the Jeep and attacks it. Which of course knocks Pip off the Jeep, and then he bounces down the hill and passes out. Oh, okay, flashback. That's a marker of a good film. So essentially what this scene serves to do for the audience is it shows them that Pip was like a spoiled brat of a dog, I guess. He uses a golden toilet. He can recognize himself in a mirror. He is fed caviar and fish. He also just like openly talks to one of his owners at one point, and she reacts as if she heard him.
You missed one. So
they're having a conversation because clearly these animals can't decide whether or not they want humans to know if they can talk or not. Next up is this like anti-cat scene where it intros with this shot. Like, the editor really just could not be fucked to include more than one bell jingle. In this one moment here, that sound is used 70 times in a row. It's just the same sound 70 times. These people making this film are insane. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. That alone is enough to be a war crime, okay? They're going to federal prison. He's also wearing an anti-cat shirt, as if it wasn't already clear to the audience prior to watching this film that there's a stereotype in media of dogs hating cats. He goes and he bullies this cat for a little bit because he's an asshole. But then as he's walking away, the cat picks up and throws a baseball at him. And then I think, I'm not entirely sure if this is true, I think the cat puts a curse on him. That was like an intentional animation thing, and we know that the editor won't use new sound effects unless he's fucking strangled to. I think the filmmaker is trying to tell us that the reason why Pip fell out of the car is because this random fucking cat that he bullied put a curse on it. We're only really operating on context clues right now because there's been maybe 3 lines exchanged in this film so far. So he wakes up after being passed out and he's greeted by a baby jaguar, which he tries to bully because he's an asshole. But of course, everybody knows the rules. You fuck with the baby, you get the mama's teeth. Another funny thing is that right now in the movie, after Pip has fallen out of the car and passed out for God knows how long, that's when the boy realizes that the dog is gone.
Mom, Dad, where's Pip?
Which means that after they were literally attacked by a rhinoceros, They just fucking kept going. Didn't check to see if anyone was okay. They fucking booked it. So next up, we're introduced to these hyena characters, which, as expected with any group of hyenas in an animated film in Africa, they're the comedic relief. These hyenas are like Italian mobsters or something.
Well, Pip, that big city stuff doesn't play too well out here, buddy. Ain't that right, boo-boo?
Yeah, that's right, Cuckoo. We're in the jungle, baby.
And they basically take Pip under their wing as long as he earns his keep. So the hyenas take Pip back to their house. Yes, I said house because they have a house. And before with the rhinos, I sort of brushed it off because I was like, oh, those are rhinos and they just happen to be populating like a human village. But no, that village belonged to the rhinos. The rhinos built that village, which means these hyenas built that house. In fact, it turns out that pretty much every animal in this film has a house, it seems. And the amount of human things that they do just doesn't line up with the fact that they're supposed to be wild animals. They're keeping meat in barrels. They're storing food. So in order for the hyenas to be impressed by Pip, they basically give him like a trial. They want to see how big his testicles are. And his trial is to walk across this bridge to reach this conveniently placed bucket of fish, and do your best to avoid the crocodiles that live in the river. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with the sound designer for this film, but he decided that whenever the crocodiles closed their mouths, he was going to use the same punching sound every single time they closed their mouths. The sound designer is a goddamn madman. He's out of control. I have no doubt in my mind at this point that he is a war criminal. I had my suspicions before, but now I'm definitely sure this man needs to be in prison. I do have to say though, the way those crocodiles are animated, it's pretty good. So Pip basically falls asleep that night. And he has another dream back in the past when he was pampered and he was having a good time. And he's getting like a massage from his owner, and he decides to turn on the TV. And probably the most ridiculous thing that happens next is that they put a knockoff within a knockoff. They literally put The Prodigy on the TV in this film. How big of an ego do you have to have, Rob, to promote your own film within one of your films? So Pip and the hyenas go down to the watering hole in order to get a drink because they're a little bit parched, and I understand. They've been doing a lot of work lately. In a weird moment, I guess Pip has the intuition to save the mama jaguar from just being randomly attacked by the evil rhino guy. Who I guess is like the leader of the rhino clan, they mention at some point. And he is very protective of his watering hole, okay? We saw what happened before. He attacked a fucking moving vehicle because he's potentially invincible. And then he also saves the stupid baby jaguar from getting killed because he waltzes up to the watering hole like an idiot. And it starts this really intense and slightly unnecessary standoff between the jaguar and the standing rhinoceros.
Akan, this time you've gone too far after my innocent child.
But it begins with this shot. Like, what was that rhino trying to do to the t-shirts? We wear them for fashion, comfort, and because society expects us to, because apparently, if we don't, we're naked. People do incredible things with t-shirts, like buying a Coca-Cola shirt, essentially paying the company to be a walking advertisement for them. That's dope. These days, anyone can make a t-shirt, and there's a t-shirt for everyone. So I got in a call with my buddy Schlatt and Charlie, and we took a look at some of the most ridiculous t-shirts that we could find on the internet, and then attempted to make some of our own. Enjoy. Welcome, boys. We're back for a third time.
What? Rocking the flesh today, rocking the flesh.
Charlie, I'm pissed at you for leaving our podcast.
Dude, fuck you.
Fuck me?
Fuck you, man. Fuck
me.
you. Hey, how's that vegetarian sandwich
me?
been treating you? Probably takes out most.
Put your fucking hands up right now.
Whoa, okay, all right,
yeah,
man.
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
All right, man.
Now twerk.
I'm gonna do
Start
it.
twerking.
Oh dislocated my fucking arm.
You know how white people will get like other languages tattooed and then the translation makes no sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The flip side of that is t-shirts from places where they don't speak English, and then you wind up with shit like this.
Too drunk to fuck.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Hey, let me raise you something else here.
Fart sexy style.
Sexy. Ooh, fart sexy style.
Charlie, I would pay a lot of money for that, but money is like much not.
Now, I could have said that. I could have said that better over my.
What?
It didn't send, man. You might be a little stupid, man. That was a little dumb, man. Do not dumb here, not dumb area here.
I know, not dumb here, no dumb area here. But please, as they say, think less, stupid more.
True. No, you're right. You're right.
Don't really know how to segue into this one. Try my delicious salt beef.
Here's a shirt that's just sort of a failure. Like, they were typing it. I think they may have gotten attacked by a rat.
That's very specific.
When God were me, he was.
They did all the effort of like embossing the God text and shit.
And then they got attacked by a rat. Is my leading theory right now.
Quick, Ted, edit me. When God.
I got a good shirt for you guys here today.
That is awful.
That just seems. I mean, it seems like it ticks all the boxes, and yet it's so compelling.
Did you make this shirt originally?
No, what do you think? I am an artist? I had it commissioned.
You commissioned this? Charlie, every time we met, you'd always be wearing your own merch.
The thing is, you say you don't remember anyone else. Every time I met you, you were always wearing this.
What the fuck is this, man? You know what I see? What really pisses me off? There's a blanket on Redbubble that's a tile image of my face over and over again, and people like have it.
Guys, I fucking forgot I did this. I held a fucking like crowd design thing using a crowd design website.
You can't do?
looks like I'm just like in a car.
One of the topics that came up in one of our last times we did this together was Ohio and its lack of food. One of the other things about Ohio that everybody remembers is that Harry Potter hates Ohio.
Where is Hogwarts?
Ohio.
Is it in Ohio?
I wish it was in Ohio.
You think Hogwarts is in Ohio?
What about the field trips that Harry Potter and the gang do to Cleveland, Schlatt? Don't you remember that from the books?
Right, yeah.
And do you remember the big Harry Potter and the sort of like large empty cornfield and big road? Do you remember that book?
Sometimes there are very targeted t-shirts. Have you ever seen one of these shirts before? Nobody is perfect, but if you were born in August 1962, you are pretty close.
Who is gonna buy that?
Literally, the target demographic is like dead.
Dead?
Dead?
You can't scare me. I have 3 sisters.
I just realized that's the tag. That is not. I don't know why I did that. I'm so sorry.
September born are the most difficult ones to understand. They are very smart and can get bored easily. Known flirts, but they are very loyal in true relationships. They've got hard time sitting still with their childlike energy. They're forever young. They are masters at being random. They have an answer for everything. They can change their minds in a second. Lovers, not fighters, but they will still knock you out. I also like how knock you out. That's like
it's completely fucked.
I got a good shirt.
Yeah.
Dude.
What?
Come on, man.
What do you mean?
What's going on here? Why do you have,
okay,
what do you
no,
say?
no.
This is a good Puma shirt. Oh, we're not sharing favorite shirts?
No, these are all the great.
These are good. These are good.
They're tight.
You want me to find a loose one? A looser one?
Yeah, find me a looser one.
How about this? It's a loose shirt.
It's not even a t-shirt, though. It's a...
What do you mean?
It's a shirt. It's not a t-shirt.
How about this one?
There's no t-shirt. There's not even a t-shirt there.
That's great, man.
Is this on Redbubble? And how much is it?
Hey, pound my cake, daddy.
Oh.
All right. Okay, man.
I could see you wearing this one, though, Ted.
Yeah? You just made this. You just made this shirt. That's what you said.
No, man. No, man.
I am Ted, Nivison, and Jay. And I suck big cock. Oh.
If you're having trouble reading the I part.
Hey, Ted, it looks like what it says. I had a hard time earlier. It looks like what it says is I am Ted, Nivison, and I suck big cock.
And then I'm going to go home and I'm going to switch into this shirt.
Oh!
Oh my god! That's what I'm talking about! Now that's a fucking shirt! God! It's got fucking tie-dye, it's got fucking galaxy, it's got freaking gay!
And we all know what's under that tiger. We've seen the original image. I'm sure you've seen the tiger.
Might actually still be back there.
What? Hey, Schlatt, before you do anything, I'm just gonna ask you to not swipe down on that pillow.
He's swiping up, Ted! He's
No,
swiping
no!
up! He's
Schlatt, do
swiping
not
up, Ted!
change the direction
You
of the
fucked up,
sequence!
dude!
The sequence,
Wrong
Schlatt!
way!
Wrong way!
Stop! You're done! You're done!
Put the sequence
It's
down,
coming.
Schlatt!
I'm ready to sleep.
Hi, I hope you're enjoying yourself. Let me play out a scenario to you, though, that's happened to me about 150 times. You're in bed, browsing on your phone, and boom, you dropped it on yourself. There is data to suggest that this has happened to about 60% of you, so don't play coy, okay? Because it's also happened to me. Thankfully for you, though, this video was sponsored by Rhino Shield, baby. Rhino Shield is known for making the most protective and custom phone cases on God's green earth. But not only that, they just launched their brand new phone grip. The grip makes it easy to take group photos with your totally real friends. Happy birthday, real friend John. It's got a built-in kickstand in it, so when you're on FaceTime with your mom and she wants to talk about book club, you don't need to pay attention to that.
And that's when Donna revealed she's been illiterate the whole time.
Ah, wow, that's cool. Wait, what? And now you can scroll on your phone in bed without having to explain at work the next day that black eye, well, it's from dropping my phone on my face. It's made from 85% recyclable PET bottles, and it's available in two sizes, Grip Mini and Grip Max. You can even pair your grip with a Rhino Shield phone case. Head to the link in the description, enter code TED, and this week you'll get 20% off, and if you're watching after this week, you'll get 10% off. Thanks so much for checking out the sponsor, guys, and let's get back to the video.
I'm not saying I'm I'm just nobody. Wonder Woman, me and I'm saying has ever seen Wonder Woman in the same room together.
I'm not saying Wonder Woman. I'm just saying no has Bomi ever and seen Wonder Woman in the same room together.
I'm not, just no Bo. Saying Wonder Woman, I'm saying has ever seen me in Wonder Woman in the same room together.
I am a pee hole man. I love pee. I drink pee and I fuck my wife.
Yes.
I was born in September. I protect my meat. I eat guns and own my wife. If you don't like it, move.
Hey, Snowflake! In the real world, you don't get a participation trophy! Not everybody is a winner! No one owes you anything! Screaming
doesn't make you right. Sometimes you actually lose. Crying doesn't solve problems. Nothing is free in this world. People are gonna say things that you don't like.
and you are not special! So get on your knees
and suck this hero off.
Officer's cock!
Suck this hero officer's cock. You suck the hero pee hole of this officer that owns his wife and was born in September.
Officer, either you're gonna unlock that AR-15 and unload into my fucking skull, or you're gonna take those pants off and we're gonna fucking kiss with our assholes.
Now what we're going to do, guys, we've seen a lot of t-shirts, we've seen some really high quality t-shirts, but I think the three of us could do a little bit better than that.
Can you just point me in like a direction?
Each of us are going to be making 2 t-shirts. 1, targeted t-shirts. You a February boy, a January girl, who knows? And then 2, a place you're from, whether it be, I don't know, Boulder, Colorado or something. The Boulder beaches of Boulder, Colorado. Who knows? All right, so we'll meet back in 15 to 20 minutes, and we will have our shirts ready to rock, baby. We tried our best. I didn't have enough time for the second shirt, so we'll see how that goes.
I'm a little nervous this time.
Everybody's gonna love my shirts.
Well, then it's not fucking targeted, is it, Schlatt?
That's a general population shirt, Schlatt.
Right,
you don't want
so it has to be a targeted shirt?
Yes.
Okay, fine. How about this one? Say it, Ted. This is my targeted shirt.
I don't know if I want to say it.
What do you mean? This is my targeted shirt for you.
I feel like if I say it, it makes it more real. I am Ted Nivison, and I will die on October 23rd, 2025.
Oh, put that in the video.
Schlatt, how bad are you going to feel if I die on October 23rd, 2025?
I had a great run with Prince Philip already.
I got actually a lot going on October 23rd, 25, so...
Well, not anymore.
Maybe only 2 events after this date, it seems like. A wake and a funeral. All right, well, what do you got, Charlie?
I feel bad now because mine isn't like...
A death threat?
It's not a death threat to specifically
no,
me.
It's more of just... I think there's going to be someone out here who appreciates it.
That's right. I'm a November man. And a proud father. But I did want boys, Catherine. Come here.
That's sick as fuck.
You.
It is. That
Dude,
that goes pretty hard.
Shirt, and I'm not gonna lie, the first thing I did was put a target on it and put "come here," and then it kind of kept like it started coming.
I've got mine for you guys here. This is a pretty targeted shirt. It doesn't say anything about my life at all.
It's good because there's not much of it left.
We fled when I was 6. Nizhny Novgorod, Russia. So, yeah, my dad does not have a good relationship with the CIA. Also, I was born in June.
I didn't realize that I put when twice, so that's actually just a genuine mistake.
No, it made it so much better.
Also, I have a great relationship with the CIA.
Oh, do you?
We've actually been conspiring on something. We're collabing in a couple of years.
You got a collab with the CIA?
Yeah, in October.
Well, what year?
2025.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's great. Oh, no, that's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that.
That's big. Dude, I can't wait for the drop.
So the next category that we had was shirts based on a location that I guess someone's been to. I didn't have time for this one, so we'll just...
Oh, wow, that sucks.
Bro. Wow.
This says a lot.
Yeah.
Why?
So you got started on this one, huh?
Dude, I was planning on working back from what I had just
Where was
written
it
there,
gonna
but
go from here? I mean, why green? Let's really dissect this.
you know, they wear green. The soldiers.
No, they don't. Not that green.
It's in the same category.
Same genre of color.
Come on, you guys gotta let me free from
I
this.
don't know
what you're looking for here.
So what are you gonna make me stick on this?
Listen,
shirt,
I think you
man.
saying "let me free from this," having made a shirt about North Korea, is a bit in poor taste. I took this one as I took it a little more close to home, so I made a shirt about my hometown, my home state.
That say hang on.
Andrew Cuomo killed all of the elderly in New York.
Now, that's a crazy claim to make.
Wow.
He did kill a lot of elderly people.
Well, thank you for this. Don't sap like nothing has been done.
I'm sorry, North Korean Comic Sans,
It's just
dude.
North Korea. It's like you go to North Korea, you get a North Korea
You go there
shirt.
and you get merch. You think they're making merch?
Let me follow us up with just a nice, sort of neutral, good, funny shirt, guys.
Beware the one from Ohio.
And why is Ohio in quotes?
Oh, yeah. Why is Ohio in quotes?
I'm just saying, I've never heard of anyone from Ohio that wasn't lying about it.
Dude, that's like a sign that says, "Do not feed the birds," and the birds are in quotation marks. Like, what the fuck is that?
It makes you
supposed to
worried,
mean?
right? It makes you worried.
Yeah.
You
It
should
does
be
make you a little
worried.
worried.
Thanks so much, folks, for watching this video.
Anyway, we'll see you back here really anytime in the next, 3 years and 2 months.
Bye, Ted.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that specifically to me. So I found a really funny movie. If you're like me, someone specifically born in 1998, then you spent the extremely formative adolescent period of 10 to 14 years old during the exact period that the Twilight movies were released. There was a very real discussion in middle school on who was Team Edward and who was Team Jacob. I saw firsthand how these movies changed the brain chemistry of my peers. The Twilight Saga was like a water pipe lined with lead, and the whole country was sipping on that garden hose. Because now you've got adult men doing red pill podcasts talking about how they have an alpha wolf mindset. And I think from the success of those movies, and more specifically the success of Taylor Lautner's abs, look at the shine on that washboard, alpha wolf romance is and will continue to be made until the end of time. And one of those movies we're talking about today, Call Me Alpha.
I can't let my wolf take control. Not now.
Listen, we gotta do something about it.
and it is a doozy. Sometimes I find these video topics because you guys either tag me in something or fill out my suggestion form, but the way I found out about this show, I will actually reveal at the end of the video because it's really funny and I think you're gonna like it. Now, I've done plenty of videos on ridiculous low-budget movies, but I've never had a proper look into the category that could most accurately be described as fan fiction shows. Shows that kind of feel like they were written by a 14-year-old who's parasocially obsessed with Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon and has a Wattpad account. You understand what I'm getting at here? And after discovering this movie, I was surprised to see that there is like an obscene amount of these shows. Just from the suggestions on IMDb when looking this movie up, there's plenty of options. The Alpha's Daughter, The Alpha's Rejected Mate, even Fatal Temptation. Between two alphas, clearly. And when I downloaded the app I needed to watch this show, Short TV, I realized that fanfiction shows are the only genre this app has, and they're all filmed vertically for phone screens, and the titles for them increasingly got weirder the longer I looked, such as The Female Janitor Revealed as Hidden Tycoon, or Why is Joe Like That, or Well, I'm actually the most wealthy lady. And of course, who could forget, Mommy, don't refuse Daddy this time, huh? Well, what did he do? Either way, let's dive into the movie we're focusing on today, Call Me Alpha. The movie starts off with a castle in what looks like Europe. Next, we get a shot of an awesome VFX wolf that shows up in a mirror. There's a bottle of blood, I think. And this woman, who I believe is the main character, some dude's kissing her. Wait, before any information about the story happens, it's just immediately a makeout scene. For like almost a full minute. I think this is meant to be a hook for the target audience, you know, those who aren't there for the riveting plot and lore like myself. And this makes sense. If I was paying $50 of real legal tender to watch a fan fiction Alpha Wolf TV show made up of 77 individual minute-long episodes, I'd want to make sure my fiction was getting fanned. You know what I'm saying? So we formally meet our protagonist Ashira for the first time with this enchantress during something called a mapping ceremony. She's a rogue wolf, so she doesn't have a pack, so I think this ceremony is meant to like find her a place to live. She cuts her hand with a knife and smears it all over the map, and she's revealed to be something called a stealer.
A stealer? You're a stealer. What is a stealer? A stealer can have a pup with anyone, mate or not.
So we're getting a lot of wolf lore right off the bat. Apparently, this is a really bad situation for Ashira. But the enchantress seems kind of psyched about this the whole time.
Being a stealer, it sounds like a punishment. Who will choose me as a mate if they know that I can mate with others? And you don't even know the worst part.
And guess what, bitch? It gets worse. Ashira's learning life-ruining information. This is the Enchantress's Super Bowl. So basically, Ashira's goal is to go and find her mate as soon as possible because I guess she's in a bunch of danger from, I guess, rogue, horny wolves who think she's their soulmate. So Ashira goes to the Prime Pack where there's a mating party going on. Crazy name for a party, by the way. You're not making it any more intellectual by just calling it mating. It's like, oh, we're mating. No, you're banging. This is a banging part. This is apparently a perfect time for her to be washing her clothes in a pond. And this is where she meets Aiden, the alpha of the Prime Pack. You can tell he's an alpha because his eyes grow all red and wolfy. Whoa. And also they give him a description when he shows up. Of course, this wouldn't be a wolf show if he didn't immediately take his shirt off and give it to Ashira.
You look cold. Take this.
That's like one of the main tenets of being a wolf guy. Doing hour-long planks every day and being able to easily find excuses to take your shirt off. That's like 95% of being a wolf guy, I think. And then he brings her back to the party because apparently this part of the land is off limits.
You know this part of the land's off limits. Go back to the guest house.
To be honest though, I'd probably say something like that too if I found someone randomly washing their shirt in a pond in my backyard. Please don't do your laundry in my pond. Come back to the party, please. Later on, Nick, who's the beta of the Prime Pack, bummer title to have, dude. That's a bummer title. Gives Ashira's information to Aiden because Aiden believes Ashira is his mate. But when she finds out she's a rogue, which is a wolf without a pack, he gives a very impassioned delivery of surprise.
A wolfless rogue Luna? Gotta be kidding me.
A wolfless rogue Luna? You gotta be kidding me. Next up, we meet one of the female members of the Prime Pack, Mila.
Hi, Ashira, it's nice to meet you. Yeah, look, I'm just here to tell you to keep your hands off my alpha.
Can you tell that she's a mean girl because they play mean girl reality TV music? Now that I think about it, it would be kind of sick if they made a reality TV show around a group of people that think they're a pack of wolves.
Greetings, fellow wolves. My name is Alpha Jared. I've been looking for my Luna, my mate, for most of my wolf life. I haven't found her yet, but I can sense her presence. I'm 32 in human years, but according to an online wolf to human year calculator, I'm considered to be about 172 in wolf years. Some might consider me to be an elder of the wolf community. I would agree with this notion. Am I Hal, you may ask? Let's just say it's immaculate.
So yeah, we've introduced Mila, already creating a little bit of drama around the pack, and Ashira has just gotten here. Later on at the party, we get a really strange interaction between practically every character that we've introduced at this point in one shot. Because you start off with Ashira and her friend Lucy hanging out, then Mila shows up to cause problems, then Nick shows up from the other side. Mila leaves, Nick asks Ashira to dance, and then Lucy leaves. They're dancing for like 2 seconds until Nick learns her name.
What was your name?
Ashira.
Then in comes Alpha Aiden out of nowhere, but then Mila is coming back to flirt with Aiden, which fails, so she leaves again, and it ends with just Ashira and Aiden. This whole sequence here happens in less than 30 seconds. And immediately after, talking less than 5 seconds, Ashira's getting pushed up a wall by Aiden. He basically complains that she danced with Nick, and her response is, well, first of all, not really, and also, why didn't you come up and dance with me first? And then his response is like it's like a 5-year-old boy.
But maybe if you had stepped forward, I would have been dancing with you.
It's my fault.
Yeah, dude, you gotta communicate these things. Also, how did we get here so quickly? The longest and only interaction that these two had was him giving her his shirt and then telling her that she couldn't be in his backyard. Maybe him giving the shirt was wolf culture for I wanna bang.
What do I do in my free time? Easy question. Baring my teeth, eating raw meat, and giving my shirts to rogue lunas that look cold. I'll be honest, a lot of my monthly budget is currently going to my wardrobe to replace my shirt. In my defense, that's the only way I know how to interact with Luna. It's seriously really frustrating. I keep having to pay for shirts. I haven't heard of a single other way to interact with Lunas in all of wolf history. But if any wolves figure it out, please ping me on my WhatsApp. I'm really freaking lonely.
So basically Ashira's like, why won't you claim me? Little bit of lore, wolf woman, zero rights in this society. And he's like, I'm never gonna claim you. But then in the next scene, he's introducing her to Arya, who's like her assistant now or something, and tells her to make sure that no males go near her.
Don't let any males near her. Take that as a warning.
So what's the deal, Aiden? You got commitment issues, brother? Especially because after Nick comes in the room, Aiden freaks out at him because she danced with Ashira for like 2 seconds.
Hold up. Listen, we gotta do something about mess.
I will say it's a little silly for Nick to try to cover his ass here by saying that he didn't know what Ashira looked like. You know, because he was the one who brought Aiden a full dossier about Ashira. You're telling me that he got all that information without figuring out what Ashira looked like? Come on, dude. Either way, the assistant takes Ashira to her new room, they have a short chat, and then Ashira asks,
Where is Aiden?
what are you talking about, Ashira? You just saw him. He's in the other room that you just came from? The room you just came from. So the next day, Nick and Aiden are talking at Nick's house about how Aiden needs to bang someone or he's gonna go crazy. He's got this whole thing going on about how he doesn't want his wolf to take control.
I can't let my wolf take control. Not now.
And Aiden's explanation is this.
I can control it. I'm the alpha. I'm just in heat.
So that's crazy that he's saying that.
I'm just in heat.
Male wolves do not go into heat. That's a biologically female trait. Aiden basically just said that he's ovulating. Maybe he doesn't understand what the word means. He's just been hearing people say it his whole life, and now he's like, that's what I have when I pee funny. It seems like it's affecting him pretty seriously, though, because this whole scene, he's practically paralyzed in this position. It doesn't look like he can move. Later on, Ashira is dress shopping with Arya for her first night with Aiden, when she suddenly goes into full heat mode and falls into the arms of this dude Zeke. So she's rushed home, and Aiden carries her upstairs, and she's pretty much losing it at this point. But Aiden is like, still not gonna claim you, and also, you can't leave anymore. You're gonna stay in this house and you can't go anywhere.
It happened because you haven't claimed me. Why can't you just make it stop?
From now on, you're not allowed to leave this house.
I would rather be a rogue than trapped in here with you.
What's this dude's fucking deal? What's his trauma? Well, we actually find out. Both of his parents died in a war. But I'll be honest, I'm assuming that the usage of the word war here is implying a bunch of plainclothes people pretending to be wolves scratching each other in a public park. I don't think this was like Vietnam, although wolf Vietnam would have been crazy. Either way, Aiden's got trauma, he's got trust issues, and he's about as emotionally stable as you'd expect from a guy that pretends to be a wolf and calls himself Alpha, aka he's not. But they talk about his trauma, and now Aiden actually decides to claim Ashira by like biting her on the neck. Obviously that's how it's done. That's what I learned in school. Until they're interrupted by an emergency.
What's wrong?
How did he know specifically what emergency was going on? Is he like a Bene Gesserit wolf? Is he Lisan Alpha Gaib? Apparently Zeke from the store and a bunch of rogue wolves had just attacked the Prime Pack. They killed like 6 people, but all of this happened off screen. Also, for future reference, they don't show a single fight on screen. They only show the aftermath. So the most substance of the action we get is a bunch of wolf dudes threatening each other and changing their eye color, which honestly is kind of fantastic. The only reason Zeke killed all of those people is seemingly because he wanted to talk to Ashira, because I think he wanted to mate with her, only to find out that Aiden had just claimed her. And he has like probably the worst possible reaction to this information.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. It smells recent. It smells familiar.
Ew, what the heck? Ew, why would he say that?
Impressive, Alpha Aiden. You smell like cum.
Either way, this creates a whole drama surrounding the rogue wolves and Zeke that will be expanded upon later. But before we continue on with this riveting tale of wolves and drama, this video is sponsored by SoFi. SoFi is the ultimate finance app and a new kind of bank that doesn't believe in account fees. It's fully mobile, tracks your spending, and you can manage your money right in the app. You might still be using the bank that your parents set you up with in like high school or something, but let's be honest here, folks, you can do so much better. If you're a student, you can sign up for a SoFi checking and savings account with a .edu email address, fund it with $10 or more, and SoFi will give you a $30 cash bonus. Setting up direct deposit, for example, if you get a regular paycheck, also unlocks some great benefits. You can get paid up to 2 days early and earn up to $300. And another great feature of SoFi is their Vault feature, where you can save and track your progress towards different goals. For instance, I don't know, going to a road trip to every Bubba Gump in the United States and Canada, which we are not doing, by the way. Everyone keeps asking us that we're not going to do that. Eddie and I don't want to eat that much shrimp. You could do it. You can do that if you want, and you could save up for it with SoFi. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to get up to a $30 cash bonus when you sign up with a .edu email and fund your SoFi account with $10 or more. Thank you to SoFi for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to it, baby. Okay, so where were we? Oh yeah. Next up, the Gamma of the pack, Seth, returns home for the first time, and he's instated as basically Ashira's bodyguard. So later on, Ashira and Seth head over to this guy Titus's house. He's the head guard of the Prime Pack, and he's getting blamed for letting the 6 members die in the attack because he was, and I quote, too distracted to fight back.
His negligence. He was too distracted to fight back.
They don't explain what he was like. What was he distracted by? Was he just on his phone? We also learned that Titus's wife died in the attack too, which is a problem for Ashira because she knows that he'll be attracted to her because she's a stealer, and she is absolutely right because Titus immediately tries to kiss her.
This is incredible.
Dude, give yourself some time to grief, man. That's like hitting on someone at a funeral, but a funeral for your wife. This is like the day after his wife died. And then Titus gets like mad and totally flips the script and starts blackmailing Ashira because now he knows she's a stealer and tries to get her to go to Aiden so that he can get his job back. So Ashira tries to convince Aiden to forgive Titus, but Aiden is super stubborn, but also keeps asking if she's asking what she's asking, like over and over again.
I think you should give Titus another chance.
Another chance?
Yeah.
Think I should give him another chance?
Yeah, that's why she brought it up.
What, you think I should give him a second chance?
Yes. And then he just says no.
You thought wrong. Because I'm the alpha. I make the rules around here.
I'm the alpha, I'm the leader. And the next day he apologizes to Ashira for going all alpha on her, but also says that she should never question him again.
Ashira, sorry. Don't question my decision next time.
Very soon after, Aiden finds out that Ashira is a stealer and confronts her about it, and then Aiden and Nick beat up Seth for hiding this information from Aiden. While Ashira secretly watches, for someone who has alpha powers and the sense of a wolf, Aiden is incredibly unaware of Ashira's presence. Wouldn't he be able to at least smell her if he wasn't directly sitting in her line of sight? He's getting those old dog cataracts. So Aiden's really pissed about Ashira's lie of omission, but they end up banging anyways. They still bang.
You hungry?
How could I be hungry when I just need you?
Ooh, banned, jail, right to jail.
Right to jail, right away.
Am I allowed to take the writers to criminal court for this? So another thing I start beginning to think about at this point in the movie is like, and the amount of characters involved. I'm gonna summarize them in a different way, and I'm just gonna give you all the facts right now. So get ready. Here we go, here are the facts. Ethan and Cassie are the only good people here, and they are challenged by Ethan's relatives. His dad, Mr. Woods, who is the chief of police and running for senator. His dad's wife, don't know her name. His half-brother, Bradley, who is also employed at the Osborne Group. Bradley's wife, who is also very evil. And this couple who's not named, but they're also evil too. Everyone in this scene thinks that Ethan deserted the military, and that's why he was gone for so many years. And they detest the fact that he's a dishwasher. They hate it so much they can smell it on him.
Oh my God, who's this? He stinks like dirty dishwater.
Isn't that just soapy water? This is an ongoing theme in this movie. Being a dishwasher in this world is the worst thing that could ever happen to you.
Dishwasher?
Dishwasher.
Scrubbing dishes?
Still just a dishwasher?
Working as a dishwasher like you're on the run.
You got liars, thieves, criminals, the devil himself. Below that, dishwasher. Even his dad hates him.
Dad, I'm back. Happy birthday.
There's the slap. As we know, even if Ethan explains that his time missing is classified information, they just assume it's a lie.
I'm running for office, and you've been gone for years like a deserter, only to show up now?
Deserter? You disappeared for years. You left the military.
Now tell me where you've been all these years.
It's classified. Can't talk about it.
That's the funniest excuse I've ever heard.
They're always like, there's no fucking way that's true, Ethan. Nice try. It's like, did Ethan do something to his family that we're not aware of? They're not nice to Cassie either. His dad's wife rips up her drawing for her grandpa right in front of her. Then Bradley's wife stomps some cake on the floor and tells Cassie to lick it up.
Lick that up, and then get lost with your dad.
It's comically evil.
You've gone too far.
You think you can come here with a child's drawing and freeload?
I love how much stake they're putting in a child's drawing being offensive to them. You show up here after so many years, and what's worse, your kid's drawing isn't even good, Ethan. That's a bad drawing your daughter made there. That's a shitty drawing.
No.
I'm disgusted by your child's drawing, Ethan. I'm disgusted. And then when Cassie claims that Ethan is married to Leanne Osborne, obviously they think that's a lie too.
You're getting your kid to lie in front of everyone?
All of this escalates to the point where just from Ethan and Cassie showing up, Ethan's dad disowns him.
Don't call me Dad. You disappear for years and then show up with a kid out of nowhere, and you ran away from the military? I don't have a son like you.
Please let me explain.
No.
Things devolve very quickly. But just as Ethan's father is actively disowning him, Leanne Osborne walks in the house with a selection of gifts for Ethan's father. And Ethan's entire family does not recognize the connection between the previous conversation they had and the fact that Leanne Osborne just walked in with gifts for the dad.
Brad, that was your chance. Introduce me to Miss Osborne. She could support my campaign.
The synapses are not clicking. I don't even know if this lack of pattern recognition is even possible in a healthy human being. They think that she's here because of Bradley's work at the Osborne Group.
We are honored, all thanks to Bradley's hard work.
Never seen so much gold in my life.
You better get used to it, thanks to Bradley's shiny outlook now.
Did they all just forget what the fuck just transpired? But now in the context of the gauntlet, the person of authority is here. So Cassie spills the beans to Leanne. So Leanne gives a slap, fires Bradley, and the whole family can't believe that this is how things worked out.
Why does Ethan always get everything?
How am I supposed to run for office?
So Ethan survived the first gauntlet. What I think is incredible about how these scenes work is that usually when someone has a hidden identity, the challenge is in maintaining your cover. But in these scenes, all of the other characters are doing the work for Ethan because they can't believe he'd be anything but his fake identity, which I guess is like good for Ethan. The next day, Leanne runs into an emergency because Princess Isabel Grimaldi, the Princess of Monaco, is kidnapped from one of the Osborne Group's hotels, and it's apparently her company's fault and their stock is tanked. In reality, the kidnapping was done by Raymond Stewart as a means to once again try to get Leanne to marry him by saying that he has the resources to get the princess back. And to make matters worse, the government of Monaco gives Leanne 30 minutes to solve the situation.
When will we have news about the princess?
I'll press the police for updates.
Don't bother. You have a half hour.
30 minutes? That's barely enough time to drive to and from somewhere close by. That's like the equivalent of saying, if the Princess of Monaco isn't here when I count to 10, I'm gonna be very mad. But of course, Ethan goes to where the princess is being held hostage and starts fighting all of the guys.
Beyond 7 steps, the gun's faster. But under 7 steps, the fist beats gun.
What sort of rule is that? He's talking about this rule like it doesn't just apply to him.
Didn't I tell y'all? You were surrounded?
What now? You really think I believe that these red dots are your snipers?
Nobody believes anything from this guy. He just caught a bullet. Oh, you expect me to believe you? The guy who just took down every person in this room with special ops precision that you have snipers? Yeah, right. So Ethan saves the Princess of Monaco, and they share a hug longer than Ethan seems comfortable with, and he brings her back to the Osborne Group just in time.
Did you find the princess?
3, 2, 1. Look up.
Why? What was the purpose of that exercise? Why did he do that? Also, this is where like a weird side plot develops where the Princess of Monaco is like in love with Ethan, and she's like all over him right now. She's going for maximum surface area on the touch here. The next scene is just the Stewart group scheming to frame Ethan as a deserter by forging documents to get him arrested. Normal stuff, and that's important, but what I think is more important is Hendrik Stewart and his crazy fucking beard. When this man showed up on my screen, I was mouth agape. I've never seen a person with a beard like this before, and frankly, I'm obsessed. He's looking good. Dare I say dashing. I think that if he lived in another era, I think he may have ended up being a prophet of sorts, and I would have been his disciple. He's incredible. Look at him. But unfortunately, in this story, he's evil. Anyways, Ethan ends up being invited to a veterans reunion for his old unit from the army, and he decides to go, but what he doesn't realize is that he's walking right into his second gauntlet. That's right. The Veterans Party Gauntlet. Let me break it down. Hold on tight. You're about to get a lot of information. Hold on. Here we go. Tom, Ethan's old buddy from the army, invites him to the gauntlet because Jeremy West, son of the governor, is the investment advisor for the Princess of Monaco, and he is going to advise her to invest in Tom's new security firm company he started. Jeremy West is also now dating our old friend Tina, so she's there as well.
Are you a dishwasher?
Once again, upon Ethan arriving, things go sour real fast. Mostly because he's a dishwasher.
This is a reunion for former soldiers, not dishwashers.
I'm confused at the mutual exclusivity of that. So in this world, being a dishwasher after you get out of the military erases your veteran status? Got it. Okay, cool. This escalates to Jeremy ordering Tom to smash a bottle of wine over Ethan's head. But luckily, Tom's one of the boys. He rides with his brothers.
Ethan is my brother.
But because Tom isn't like a piece of shit, Jeremy says that he's not gonna have the princess invest in his company.
I'm not gonna fight him. All you needed to do was put this loser in his place and you hesitated. I gave you a chance and you blew it.
All you needed to do was assault this man with a wine bottle for my entertainment, but you blew it, dude. You blew it. But then Jeremy's like, I actually wasn't gonna invest in the first place.
I never planned on investing in your company anyway.
But then Ethan's like, okay, well, fuck you guys. I'm gonna call the Princess of Monaco. She's got the hots for him, so she shows up and delivers the slap. Gotta have the slap. Law of the gauntlet. Law of the gauntlet. You gotta have the slap. And then when all the bad guys are just like confused, the Princess of Monaco puts it all on the table.
If only you knew the truth. I would love everyone to think that me and Ethan are together. Because I am actually pursuing him.
Yeah, we know. We know, you've made that abundantly clear. Ethan's got to set some boundaries with the Princess of Monaco because she is way too comfortable being handsy with a married man. And as is law within a gauntlet, the Princess of Monaco fires Jeremy and invests in Tom's company. Hell yeah. You'd think the gauntlet is over at this point, right? Not even close. Gauntlet goes into overtime because Ethan's dad comes in as the chief of police with the fabricated evidence to arrest his own son for deserting the military. There's some back and forth. Ethan threatens Jeremy's entire family, which includes the governor of the state.
Mess with me, and your entire family is going to disappear from this world.
Ethan, have you lost your mind?
And then things escalate even further. What? How did Jeremy get the gun? Mr. Woods was reaching for his gun, and then in the same moment, now Jeremy has the gun. Did Jeremy take the chief of police's gun?
My dad is the governor. In this town, I am the law.
I really hate to be threatened with a gun.
What a unique character trait. Couldn't be me. I love that. I love that shit. Point a gun at me. But then we enter double overtime in the gauntlet because guess what?
General Atkinson is here.
Special Operations Command?
That's right. The General of Special Operations Command in the United States has shown up to the Veterans Party. He's shown up just in time to let everyone know that Ethan was in fact the leader of SEAL Team 6. And everyone is shocked beyond belief.
Ethan was the former captain of SEAL Team 6?
He was captain of Team 6? You're a former SEAL Team 6 captain?
Does everyone need to say this? But Jeremy, lost in the bloodlust of the gauntlet, is still not convinced.
These people must be actors Ethan hired.
You try anything, we have orders to execute you on the spot.
Whoa, damn, okay. General Atkinson did not come to play. Then General Atkinson awards Ethan a medal on behalf of the president, and everyone starts saluting him.
From now on, if anyone calls Ethan Woods a deserter, I will personally Take them out.
Oh my God. If anyone calls Ethan Woods a deserter, the general will personally kill them? That wouldn't even be a crime. That's a First Amendment violation. What a way to end a gauntlet. Later on, Ethan is walking the Princess of Monaco home, seemingly completely unaware of how inappropriate she's being with him, and they run into his wife.
Why aren't you coming straight home?
Ethan promised to protect me and walk me home.
What about your bodyguards?
None of them are as good as Ethan.
All right. What's going on?
Ethan's so dense that he's like, feeling a little bit of tension here, but I can't quite put my finger on it. So now it's this weird situation where both women want Ethan, and he's kind of just standing there like an emotionless husk. But then the Princess of Monaco's like, hey, I got you a present, which ends up being a fireworks show that causes Ethan to go into a PTSD episode.
Down!
And then I guess he passes out because he wakes up the next morning. All right, I swear we're getting towards the end of the movie here. Let me just bang through some plot points. The Stewart group attempts to do a hostile takeover of the Osborne group by buying out all of their stockholders, but then Ethan is able to open up a safe that has the will from Leanne's dead brother that contains hidden shares of the company, giving her 51%. Because another hidden identity, Cassie Woods, is actually Cassie Osborne, aka daughter of Leanne's brother. You follow me here? Also, Leanne is tricked into thinking she'll be meeting with the leader of the Guardian Force because Ethan hasn't told her that that's him. And then she's kidnapped by the Stewarts for a bit. Raymond kind of tries to, well, no, he literally tries to roofie her. But it doesn't work because she just spits it out. And then he's like, why don't you like me?
I've liked you for so long. Why won't you just say yes?
I don't know, dude. Maybe every choice you've ever made? Ethan obviously shows up and defeats everyone. Dragon Jack is back to, oh, no, he's dead. And Ethan gets away again. Raymond Stewart is looking for another option to kill him. Jeremy, the bastard, has apparently been appointed as the Adjutant General of the state's National Guard by his father, which is just some classic nepotism, baby.
My dad's the governor.
And as Jeremy's first act, his plan is to use the National Guard to kill Ethan Woods.
As a general, I command thousands. We can take him down easily. Perfect.
Damn, that sounds like a perfect plan. Which leads us to the final scene of the movie and the final gauntlet, the Guardian Force party. Basically, the Guardian Force is holding a party so that Ethan and the Guardian Force can get all of the corrupt parties in one place. This includes the Stewart group because they've somehow been utilizing Guardian Force's resources for evil. And pretty much anyone else that's been evil in this movie. They're all here. Tina's there.
It's a dishwasher doing it at an event like this.
Tina's there, she's there. So now it's time for Ethan to make his reveal and tell everyone at this party that it's actually for him, the commander of the Guardian Force. Do we think people believe him? Choose now on your screen. What do you, no, over there, over there. There you go. Yeah, no, they don't.
Claiming this event is for you is just embarrassing.
Yes, Ethan, even though everything you said up until this point has been true, don't even embarrass us by trying to trick us this time. Even though everything else we said was a lie, it ended up being true. You're just embarrassing us. Obviously, there's a bunch more back and forth until Ethan activates what I think is the greatest trope in these hidden identity movies, which I like to call, you can't sit there. Ethan and Cassie sit down on the Guardian Force commander's throne, and everyone is beyond offended that he would do that.
Get away from there. That is not your place.
He's asking for it. Get him.
Ethan, you're so screwed.
What's fantastic about this is this same situation happened in Return of His Majesty, a movie from a totally different time period on a different app.
That is the Imperial throne. How can you sit on it?
You have some nerve. That seat isn't for you. Get off it now.
So that's awesome. Brooke from Guardian Force then shows up and confirms that Ethan is the commander of the Guardian Force, which causes Hendrik to play his trump card, a deadly assassin that could rival even the likes of Ethan.
My trained assassins aren't here to play games.
Wait, who the fuck is that? That's not an assassin. They look like a shoplifter. Oh, that's not an assassin, that's a suicide bomber. This then leads to an interesting negotiation tactic from Ethan. Because the suicide bomber has a grenade, and they're like, I'm gonna blow us up. But then Ethan also grabs a grenade, and he's like, well, now I've also got a grenade, so I guess we're at a standstill?
I've got a grenade too.
Are you insane? Do you not care about dying?
Do you? You're wearing 8 grenades on your chest.
Seen this trick before. All of those grenades are fake.
Why would they be fake?
How did you know?
He was right? I'm not sure what the trick would be. What's the trick? It's an explosive. What about one grenade being real or all of them being real changes the leverage of holding a grenade like this in a crowd? It's an explosive. It's a bomb. Everybody died. Somehow, Ethan gets out of this situation. But then the governor shows up, and Jeremy still thinks everything's fake.
Dad, this dishwasher and some actors are pretending to be Guardian Force. I think they're scamming us.
I don't know what his basis for reality is at this point. He doesn't believe anything. But he's so far gone that he suggests using the National Guard to kill all of the witnesses.
If
If he really is the commander, we're all doomed. You understand?
Then let's kill them here and now. No loose ends.
Luckily, the final person of authority arrives, which is a very real position. The general of the CIA.
Unless you want to die, keep your guns down.
Ethan Woods, after retiring from SEAL Team 6, was appointed the commander of Guardian Force.
And he gives Ethan his second award of this movie, which is the Ring of Kings.
On behalf of the U.S. government, I thank you and present you with the Ring of Kings.
Of which Jeremy puts on his ring finger in front of his wedding ring because he's married to the grind, folks. The last thing that happens in this movie is what happens when the final gauntlet is finished. And this is what we'll call the pathetic bargain, where every antagonist begins to betray and blame each other and beg for forgiveness, but they all get arrested, and Ethan and Leanne make their contractual marriage a real one. The end. This movie was a joy to watch. It does not summarize neatly, I will admit, but I learned a lot about hidden identities, and I hope you did too. Because if you did, you would have realized I'm not actually Ted Nivison. I'm actually a dolphin. What the fuck? The baby jaguar. He wasn't trying to eat it because rhinos are herbivores. So, like, I think he was just trying to murder the kid, like, which is like pretty fucked up. So at this point, Pip pretty much earns his keep with the group. He's kind of one of the boys now, all right? But then we're like 40 minutes into the film, and they decide to introduce 3 new main characters into the film. All right, I'm going to go through them right now. You've got Artie, who is either a kangaroo or an anteater, but I'm not sure. You've got Flash, the 3-toed sloth, and here's an interesting point about Flash. This right here is probably the only point in which Robert D. Hanna has written something that is entirely original, which is naming the sloth Flash. Because if you think about it, that's the same name as the sloth that's in Zootopia, that's in the DMV, except that movie came out in 2016. This movie came out in 2012. But then all of a sudden there's this whole thing where they just acknowledge a plot hole in the movie. They acknowledge that 3-toed sloths are from South America, but the reason why Flash is in Africa is because he got lost.
He's a 3-toed sloth.
Aren't you supposed to be in South America? Well, I was never too good with maps and I got lost.
And he stayed because he kind of likes it here.
Besides, I kind of like it here.
Then Pip just nods. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. Then there's this bird character named Lou, who I think proceeds to threaten Pip.
I'd watch your back if I were you. Always be alert if you don't want to become a tasty meal for someone.
That was a little out of pocket, Lou. After meeting all of these characters, in a sudden shift of tone, Pip just suddenly goes, I want to go home, and then runs away.
You know, I really miss Nathan. Nathan's my master. I've at least got to try and get home.
And all the characters are like, you're not gonna fucking make it, you dumbass. So he gets picked up by a giant bird, but then Artie shoots like wooden spikes with his mouth at him. I didn't know he was a ninja. Artie's fucking cool. So Pip's falling out of the sky. I don't know what it is about these shots, but they look faker than the rest of the film. These shots look like they shot him on green screen within the world that they're in. And then basically after falling for like 20 seconds, he's saved by Lou. Okay, so the next part of the movie really isn't that important, but I thought I would mention it just because it's kind of strange. I think that this was used just to fill time. I'm not sure, but I've got a pretty good idea. Essentially, after Pip and the gang return to camp, they decide to play a game of what is kind of football, but not really. The film has them play the whole game, and it doesn't really serve the plot at all. And as an audience member, I'm just sitting here and watching this, and I'm like, what is the point of this? And then after that, Pip's like, well, I'm gonna show you guys a real sport. And he shows them golf. And listen, I'm not even going to talk about the fact that they had a fully prepared field for this game. Like they have a fucking YMCA in the jungle. They essentially reach this point in the story where the main objective is to acquire water from the watering hole. So they try a couple of strategies, and one of them is where they take Lou and like 2 Lou shadow clones or something. Like they just kind of appeared out of nowhere. They try to do like these dive bombs where they scoop up the water, and that obviously isn't gonna fucking work. But then, after having a boys talk with the hyenas, Pip gets an idea. He's gonna recreate human plumbing. Pip literally designs and builds an entire plumbing system that takes the water from the watering hole and sends it to the village. And they're using tools. Like, at this point, I just feel like Robert D. Hanna, when he was writing this film, was just like, I'm gonna have him build a town. Pip remembered the plumbing system and was like, I guess I'm gonna build a plumbing system now. And of course, this wouldn't be a classic F-tier movie by Robert D. Hanna if we did not include a dancing scene. But uh-oh, all the fun's interrupted by the Crocodile Boys, because they found the plumbing that definitely wasn't just a bamboo stick in the water to them. It was plumbing, and they knew they were being conned. And this leads to the rhinos to literally prepare for war.
Rhinos, assemble now.
I guess when the rhinos go into war mode, they get on all fours, and oh my god, it is terrifying. They are moving like aggressive oobleck. There is no consistency there. They must be simultaneously super strong, but also have demon-like flexibility for this to work out for them. Reminds me of that one meme of that guy who goes from standing to like wolf mode. So the rhinos show up at the good animals' place, and they just fucking trash everything. The thing about these films is that they just start to devolve as they go on, and I think that's because the writers and the animators and everyone just gets sick of it at this point. So I guess Pip is sad because the whole town is destroyed, and he decides that it's a good idea to go and mope by the watering hole. The entire pivoting point of the main conflict of this movie. He decides to just go there. How could you possibly justify that in the writing of the film? So Pip gets chased to the rhino camp by the evil rhino leader, and then he gets captured. And that's where he finds out the crux of the conflict. And that is, the rhinos are unhappy because they don't have girlfriends.
Khan, where are all the girls? Don't you miss having a female around once in a while? No wonder you're all so mean and surly all the livelong day. You need to get some girlfriends around here.
We don't need girlfriends. So just put a lid on it.
I like girlfriends.
I get it. They're lonely. They're lonely rhinos standing around waving. But I've never heard of a position where you're so lonely that your solution is to go and persecute other people. Like, why is that the next best option here? So Pip escapes from the punch-down crocodiles and he runs away. And of course, as is customary in the filmmaking industry, when the character is at its lowest, the filmmaker should add in a very sad song that is written to explain exactly why the character is feeling sad through the lyrics of the song.
Don't know a good thing until it's gone, long gone. You don't know a good thing until it's gone.
So Pip ends up at what I think was the original rhino village from the beginning of the movie, and it turns out that that's a female rhino camp. How do we tell that they're female rhinos, you ask? Well, they're wearing lipstick, and they've got a little bit of sass to them.
We don't need any men around here. In fact, we are anti-men.
So Pip essentially tells them, hey, there are some male rhinos over there, and I was wondering if you ladies were interested in, dating them. And they say, okay.
What would you say if I told you there is a large camp of available rhino boys right up the road? And they're just looking to meet some lovely ladies like yourselves.
We need some security around here for protection.
Yeah, girl, I agree. And I always wanted to have a big family.
All right, guys. From this point on, this is the point of no return in Robert D. Hanna's writing style, okay? He may have cared a little bit before. He may have given a bit of a shit, maybe a smidgen, maybe a little bit of a little raisin, maybe a little candy corn. He may have given a candy corn of a shit. He does not care anymore. He just goes off the rails with the writing here. I can't even explain what's going on after this point. So the next scene, they are in a rainforest themed bar, and they've essentially created a rainforest cafe without any of them having opposable thumbs, mind you, which also could have been solved if they had included a single monkey character in the film. You're perfectly at liberty to add a monkey character in here, Robert. This bar is like a club, and one of the rhinos is a bouncer, and now Pip is cool with the rhinos, okay? He's one of the boys now. But the crocodiles are not happy with Pip for whatever reason. Which is, of course, solved with Pip suddenly knowing how to do kung fu and attacking one of the crocodiles. So everything's resolved with the animals now. Everyone's happy. They're chilling. It's a good time. But oh, there's a twist. Pip's owners show up. We didn't expect that at all. So then there's this weird scene where the boy wants to bring Pip back home with him, but then Pip's like, nah, man. I like it here. And the parents and the safari guide are just kind of sitting in the car waiting for the conversation to end. But then in the reverse shot, there's like rhinos just chatting, drinking, and hanging out, talking in English. And the crocodiles are just over there sitting at the bar, drinking from mugs. They went on a safari to see wild animals, and now they're looking at the wild animals, and the wild animals are drinking at a bar that they built. Like, come on. Like, what? So then Pip decides to stay because nobody didn't expect that. And then the boy just says that he'll visit, like, every year, I guess.
Okay, Pip. We'll come back, boy. And we'll pay you a visit every year.
And then that's the end of the film. He just kind of fucking stays. So that's Life's a Jungle, Africa's Most Wanted. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, and comment below and tell me if you know of like any weird movies that I could look at, because I really do enjoy going through them and having a grand old time. As I mentioned before, make sure to go to the link in the description and check out the merch that I launched. I worked really hard on it, and I hope that you guys like it. This is the last video that I'm going to be doing in this childhood home of mine, because I'm actually moving out to LA. And I literally would not have been able to do it without your guys' support, because I do this for a living now. Hope you're doing well. Peace, bitches. What do these people do for work? Obviously, at one point, Ashira is at a clothing store, so there's some level of economy going on. But nobody's going into detail of what their work entails. Even later on in the movie, Nick says this to Ashira.
You see, your alpha here has been delegating his work to me ever since he met you.
And Aiden also says,
you know, Nick was always good with the paperwork.
The paperwork? What are you talking about? What paperwork? Are they keeping records? For what purpose? Why are they doing that? Is there a larger governmental body that audits the packs? Is there a wolf IRS? What a strange piece of lore to drop in here. Anyways, at this point, for some reason, we've got Alpha Jacob from the Shadow Pack visiting the Prime Pack, and he's brought his Luna, who also happens to be Ashira's friend Lucy. Lucy immediately reveals to Ashira that this dude's been cheating on her all the time. And then she drops some kind of unnecessary and strange lore on what happens to female mates when the male wolf cheats on them.
Feeling cramps in my belly, and all of a sudden these bruises started showing up on my chest and stomach. You probably don't know this, but if your mate begins having sex with others, those awful things will happen to your body.
Just seems like it sucks more than anything to be a female wolf in this world. You go catatonic when you're horny, men have to claim you in order to get anything done, and Ashira, even though she's the protagonist, doesn't really make a single choice for herself. Pretty much all of the events of this story kind of happen to her. with whether she likes it or not. It's kind of just like a bucket floating down a river. Lucy then enlists the help of Ashira to help her go escape to the north. So they go do that. But then during that ordeal, she runs back into Zeke. And while she's missing, Aiden and Nick are running around Twilight style all over the forest. And it turns out that Zeke needs Aiden to give his mother some of his blood in order to save her life. That's the entire reason Zeke came to the Prime Pack in the first place, I think. Gotta say, doesn't totally explain why they had to kill 6 people to get that point across. I guess they just got carried away. Aiden agrees to this. And we cut to a scene with Zeke's mom, who is for some reason wearing like fucking 9-inch heels while she's essentially on her deathbed.
How are you feeling today?
Not good.
So Aiden cuts his hand open and she just kind of nuzzles up to his hand and instantly recovers.
Thank you, Alpha Aiden. I feel fully recovered already.
Okay, so next up, we're introduced to the leader of the Ravenous Pack, Elon. They're supposed to be signing a treaty, but they also just attacked the Prime Pack, like maybe 4 minutes before this scene.
The Ravenous Pack has attacked. They're declaring war.
What?
But Elon is like, I didn't tell those shitheads to do that. And Aiden's like, well, you represent them, so it's kind of still your fault. And Elon's like, okay, still sign that treaty though, right? And Aiden's like, fine, but I'm pissed. Then Ashira and Aiden bang again, and then reflect on that bang in completely different clothing. And we actually see their wolves for the first time in like an hour, where they're just marveling at the beauty of their wolves in the pond.
Oh my god, your wolf is so beautiful. So colorful. That's really amazing.
If they reveal at the end that this is just a community of people acting out a long-term LARP scenario, I would believe it almost immediately. Then all of a sudden, Ashira gets kidnapped by Elon out of nowhere. He's got Ashira in a fucking dungeon like an asshole.
You're mine now, kitten. I can do anything. And you can't do anything but cry.
Was this script written by an 8-year-old? I'm a super duper freaking cool alpha wolf, and all you can do is cry and wee-wee in your diaper, which is actually a thing that babies do. And also something I do not do, because I'm the alpha. Also, the stakes are super high because Ashira's pregnant now. And also, Elon gets a potion from his mom that lets him steal a stealer, because he's trying to steal Ashira for some fucking reason. So he gives her this curse that brainwashes her and causes her to lose her memories. The next episode, which is 10 seconds later, we're cutting to Aiden saving Ashira. Apparently, he killed Elon, the largest antagonist of this story, off screen, which is so wild because they spend like a half an hour hyping up how conniving and evil this Elon guy was. And he's kidnapped Ashira and he's poisoning her and then he's gone, never to show up again. So now Ashira thinks that Elon is the father of her child and she doesn't recognize Aiden. So Aiden, the cool-headed leader that he is and being fully aware of Ashira's condition, decides to reason with her.
How dare you come into my room?
It's my pack. I make the rules around here.
You are heartless.
You're the heartless one. You know nothing. I killed that guy because he stole. Don't you ever forget that.
Stop being brainwashed. Don't you know you're not supposed to do that? I didn't tell you could do that. I'm the alpha. Lucy has to come in and be like, dude, you're escalating things right now. And also, forgot to mention this one. When did Ashira get to a 3rd trimester pregnancy? Is she gonna give birth to the Antichrist? Is that what's going on here? Eventually things cool down a bit and Ashira and Aiden are in the backyard. And out of nowhere, in comes the Alpha King.
Alpha Aiden, the Prime Pack. This is your king. No need to worry. I came to help.
He's the king of all of the packs, and he just kind of shows up unprompted. Looking for me? The king of all the packs? Did somebody say Alpha King? This is like the king of England popping into someone's backyard. Where the fuck did he come from? He's also kind of like a genie because he says he can remove Ashira's curse, but their baby is not going to have like wolf powers. But Aiden ultimately decides to follow through with the ceremony.
Alpha King. Is this
Damn, dude. Alpha King does not give a single shit. But now everything is good. Ashira is cured, and now they have to decide on a name for their baby. Of course, as the Alpha, Aiden gets to decide on this name.
I should name him Quillian.
Quillian? Quillian. Where the fuck did that come from? As far as I know, this is just a random name. I think he just likes the way it sounds, or he just made it up on the spot. That sounds like a name that you would make up on the spot. But she gives birth to Quillian, everything is all in good, and there's a party at the end where Beta Nick is dancing like this.
Yeah, he really went all out for this.
Yeah, and how's your hunt going?
And I'm about 95% sure that this is one of the final takes of the film shoot, because that is the behavior of an actor that has totally checked out of their character. Either way, that was Call Me Alpha. Now, I told you guys at the beginning of this video that there was a very specific way that I found this movie. So finally, I get to reveal to you how I did. Ashira, would you come in here? This is my friend Mia, who also happens to be the actress that plays Ashira in Call Me Alpha.
Hello, people of the world.
So this is how I found out about this film, because she was working on this film, and the whole time she was saying, you gotta make a video on this. How did you find out about this role for Call Me Alpha in the first place?
Actually, I got asked, I think like 4 days before the production, I got an email that was like, hey, take a little read over the script and let us know what you think. It starts shooting in 4 days. And I was like, I gotta make rent for these. And I've done a few of these short series, but for this one specifically, it was 10 days straight,
oh my
12
God.
hours a day, about anywhere
just
between...
wolfing it up.
Yeah, when
like...
I got the pitch, it was like photos of Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, so this is like exactly what I thought, exactly what they were trying to go for.
Oh yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
It seemed like they were trying to go for like Bella and Edward kind of relationship.
Yeah,
with...
yeah, it's like if you took Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey and then fan fiction.
And then told it to a person and then hit them with a bus. And then they were like, write what you remember of that story. What was the script like when you first got it for this movie?
Uncompleted.
What does that mean?
To no fault of the production, because we were all employees. Like the producers and the crew were like amazing. The script when we got it was not the final script, nor was it really in English.
Oh.
I mean, no, it was in English, but it wasn't. Let's just say that there was a lot of improv work. There were several moments that I do remember where we all kind of just looked at each other and were like, yeah, we're gonna change that. Yeah.
Was this the first type of vertically shot project you had done before?
This was my first one.
Really?
It led to many more.
Because there's this one portion at the beginning of the movie, beginning at the mating party, which is, by the way, I think a crazy name.
It's a sex party intrinsically.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like, it's just a fancy way of calling it a sex party. But there's like this one shot where it's like you're with Lucy, and then Mila comes in, and then Nick comes in from the left, and then Mila leaves, and then...
I think that was the last shot of the entire production. Like, that was my team. Safe to say that most of this production, we were one-take wonders, because we were also shooting anywhere between like 15 to 38 pages a day. I think that was like the max.
So that sounds insane. Was it stressful?
Yeah. But
was there any explanation in the script or anything you were told? Ashira and Aiden banging to all of a sudden you are in a third trimester pregnancy. Like you bang at one point, and then like maybe I think no more than 2 days happens, and then you're fully pregnant.
well, time has passed, Ted.
It took them 9 months to figure out where you were.
Well, oh, that's a good point.
You did a good job for what you were given, I think. You know?
Thank you. I do appreciate it.
One of my favorite moments. You're paired up with the Aria girl, and she takes you to your room, and then immediately after that, you're like, where's Aiden? You were just with him.
We talked about that the day we were filming it. We were like, didn't we just film a scene where we were just...
And what was the response? Well,
listen, well.
Was that in the script that you were washing your shirt?
Yeah. I was supposed to swim in this pond, and I was not. I did not swim in this pond because there are catfish in this pond. In fact, actually, that's lore. Every time I would put the shirt down, catfish would think it's food, and I'm...
You hate fish. That is a fun piece of lore about you. You hate fish.
It was a catfish farm.
Oh, this is a catfish farm?
Yes.
Was there any deleted scenes from this? Really? Why were they deleted? What were the scenes about?
There was one sex scene that was, dare I say, a little grapey.
Oh, good that they got rid of that.
Yeah, no, that was pretty good. There was another scene where I think we turned into the wolves.
They were supposed to be VFX, you turned into wolves? Oh, that would have been the best. What's the deal with the name Quillian?
So we have a theory, and we talked about this intensely, but we think that they meant to write William, and then it just kind of got fucked up. And then
because it's right next to Q on the fucking keyboard.
And then we had already filmed the scene saying Quillian.
That's a name I have never, ever heard before.
That's what we saw that name, we were like, so his name is Quillian now.
That is so funny. Well, thank you for offering some insight onto this. And my good friend Mia, Ashira in Call Me Alpha.
Please hire me.
Let's do it again. Done a million takes of this, but my strength is unlike anything anyone's ever known.
Is it just pure pain now? That's what you hate to hear.
Goodness gravy, I've got a story for you guys today. Listen, in the pursuit of life, sometimes we run into bumps along the road. The bumps vary in size and severity. Sometimes it's a little tiny pebble in the road, and sometimes it's a giant fucking boulder, like, for instance, if you were hiking and you got hit by a giant fucking boulder. We're doing our best, alright? And sometimes things don't work out the way we would prefer. Today is one of those little interesting conundrums that we run into every now and then in our lives, and it happened to me. I ran into a bit of an issue. So sit back, relax, and let's talk about how I once accidentally drugged myself with the largest edible I've ever eaten. Last February, before all the coronavirus garbage happened, I traveled to Los Angeles for spring break. And one of the things that I had to do was I had to sign a shit ton of posters for U2s. There was probably more than 3,000 posters that I had to sign, and the posters were being kept at the house that the Misfits YouTube group were staying at in LA. Carson was there, Schlatt was there, Cooper was there. We were all just trying to like sign all of these posters as fast as we could because there's so many of them, and it was taking us literally hours to do. At this point, there was maybe about 5 or 6 people in the house at this time. And that's because at that point, the whole main Misfits crew had gone out to dinner somewhere. I don't know if you know this about the Misfits in general, but they smoke a lot of weed. Every trip they do, they probably spend a couple $1,000s on weed, okay? They smoke the Mary Jane. They do the weed. In order to make the process of signing these posters go a little bit smoother, I had smoked like half a joint of weed, so I was already decently high because I hadn't smoked in a while either. Signing away, crossing my I's, dotting my T's. However, my personal reaction to weed is that I get the munchies. I get the munchies pretty hard. I smoke a little bit of the marijuana, and then I say, oh, I'm gonna eat an entire sleeve of club crackers with no cheese because gluttony. I had originally planned to go to dinner with my girlfriend and her father, so I was trying to wean off of the high and just kind of sign the posters and wait until it kind of wore off, and then I would go and do that. One of the things that they had at this house was they had a giant counter in which a bunch of snacks were all laid out. There was chips, there was more chips. There was, I think, pizza. I don't fucking remember. As I look across this horizon of bountiful snacks, I see a Nerds rope. And my munchie brain is like, oh. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I remember Nerds Rope. I haven't had Nerds Rope in fucking forever, dude. I'm thinking back to my childhood where we would go to a campground in Maine and I would waddle on down to the snack shack and grab myself a Nerds Rope. And before eating it, considering its potential applications as nunchucks or trying to tie a knot with it. But then realizing, I'm a kid. I don't know how to tie knots. And my prefrontal lobe won't even be done cooking for another 20 years. So what's even the point? Give me a slush puppy. Give me a Game Boy SP. Let's fuck it up.
But Lord have mercy, did I learn in this moment I no longer was a child, but a man.
A man who experiences consequence in the worst way possible. So I'm signing more posters, you know, I'm cruising, I'm having a great time, alright? Nerds Rope tastes a bit strange, but that could also be my perception that I have of being already high, and it kind of, if you've ever been high before, it kind of messes with your perception of taste a little bit. It was like drinking a Diet Coke versus a normal Coke, where there's like, you know, there's something there. There's something there. But I don't fully process why it tastes different. So I finish the Nerds Rope. And then I go to have another Nerds Rope because I'm high and have the munchies. As I'm biting into the next Nerds Rope, one of the Misfits guys says, Ted, don't eat those. Those are edibles. Sorry. I must have heard you wrong. Excuse? Yeah, Ted, that's an edible. So I say, no fucking way. How much was it? And he says, I think it might be like 60 milligrams. What? 60 milligrams? To give you context, the largest edible I'd had up until this point in my life was 20 milligrams. So of course I ask, are you sure? One of the guys walks over to the counter and picks up the package of the Nerds Rope, and with the most you are fucked face I've ever seen in a person, he says, it's actually 400 milligrams. Now remember, I've already freaked out when I heard that it was a 50 milligram edible, and I've just been told that it is actually 8 times that amount. So you may be asking yourself, Ted, how the fuck did you not know that that was an edible? And that's a good question. Let's start with the packaging. That's the packaging. It uses the same packaging as the actual branded Nerds Rope. It's got a thing that says tear and share as if it's just a normal candy. In hindsight, that's very much so implying for a good reason that you really should be sharing it and not eating it entirely on your own. If you're not really paying attention and it's been like 8 years since you've had a Nerds Rope, this is pretty easy to mistake for a Nerds Rope. In addition to that, there was a very specific and deceptive way that everything was laid out as snacks in the Misfits house, and I'll just let Swagger Souls explain that for me.
There was a very reasonable way, like we set it up, because the Nerds Rope was an edible. It was a 400 milligram edible, and he didn't read the packaging. But we have, on that bench, it's a big-ass bench, it's snacks and food, chips, Pringles, gummy bears, all that shit.
Munchies.
And then there's weed food, which is edibles, in between that and the weed, which makes sense.
Like a spectrum.
Yeah, like a spectrum.
Progressively dangerous as you go on.
That's the thing, is that it would make more sense to kind of put the weed food away so that you don't confuse the food with the weed.
Which is what happened to poor Ted.
He was tripping balls.
If you've ever been in a car crash, even if it's not your fault, there's a certain feeling after it immediately happens. It's this mind-racing feeling when you have absolutely no idea what to do, but you also know that something has to be done or you're fucked. AKA panic. So at this point, I begin to freak out for 3 reasons. First of all, I didn't know if I was personally prepared mentally to get as high as I was about to get. Second of all, I had made plans for dinner with my girlfriend and her father that night, and I definitely won't be making it. And I'm pretty sure she's gonna be a little bit pissed. And the third reason, I hadn't smoked weed in 2 months, which meant that my tolerance was rock bottom. I like to explain this with what I like to call the skyscraper analogy. Right here we have the tolerance skyscraper, which represents my tolerance to marijuana. Let's just say that whenever I smoke weed, I start at the ground floor in the lobby. If my tolerance were higher, then maybe I'd go a couple stories up to the mid-level apartments. That's where all the stoner kids from high school hang out. And they're all pretty high up there, but it's nothing really to be worried about. You're probably couch locked, but you'll be fine. With my tolerance at 0 though, I knew in my heart and my soul that I was going all the way up to Cheech and Chong's fucking penthouse as an unwilling and unexpected guest for an undetermined amount of time. As things stand right now, I don't even live in the building. I'm from out of town and I sometimes commute into the city. Oh, it's a Friday night. Oh, we should go get drinks in the city. That's what I'm operating on. I know that I'm on a timer. Most edibles take about 45 minutes to an hour before they kick in. But I know that I've taken this edible about 10 to 15 minutes prior, which means, math, I've got about 45 minutes before this edible hits me and I die. Although other things can affect this, such as being on an empty stomach, which I was. My first thought was that I need to make myself throw up, because if I can get rid of as much of this edible as possible, I could potentially mitigate the level of inebriation that I was about to experience. So I stumble over to the bathroom and I start to gag, and I'm trying to make myself throw up, but I've never made myself throw up before. I don't know how to do it. So the next step is that I got Carson on his phone looking up how-tos on WikiHow on how to make myself throw up, and then Cooper's in the kitchen and he's making cups of salt water for me to chug, because apparently if you chug salt water it helps with the throwing up process. I'm not sure how true that was. It just ended up with me just throwing up a bunch of pinkish salt water. So I can't speak for its effectiveness, but there you go. And I'm pretty sure since the Nerds Rope was sort of a candy, sugar-based food, it was really easy for my stomach to digest it really fast. So I'm pretty sure if I hadn't thrown it up within maybe 5 minutes, there really wasn't that much that I could do from there. So by the time I was done throwing up, some food that we had ordered earlier arrived, and Cooper basically advised me that the best thing that I could really do for myself would be to just fill my now completely empty stomach. From this point on, all I could really do was, buckle up, strap in, and get ready for the fucking high of a lifetime. God bless my soul. So I'm going to give you guys a walkthrough of what this high was like. It wasn't fun. I also have some video footage that Cooper took, so link to his channel in the description. Once I kind of came to terms with the fact that I was going to have to ride out this high no matter what, I decided to give myself a home base. Just somewhere where I could ground myself and not really need to worry about moving around or anything. I found myself a nice armchair and I sat myself down there and prepared for the ride of a lifetime. The first thing that happened was a classic weed symptom, which is cotton mouth, which is when your mouth gets really, really dry. So I was pretty much just constantly drinking water. I remember starting to get colder. And the Misfits, they had a room where they just had a bunch of extra merch laid out where they could just give that to friends and stuff while they were in LA. And I kind of just walked in there and just threw on one of the sweatshirts and then just went back to my home base and sat down. And I was wondering for myself if that cold symptom that I was experiencing was real. I did research on the symptoms that I was experiencing, and this was something that actually happens. Informally, it's referred to as weed chills. The THC literally lowered my internal body temperature, so I actually was getting cold. Another thing that happened, and I think this also might have been a symptom of being cold, but I started getting shaky. And it's really funny the way that I described that when I was high, and I actually have video footage of that right here.
Welcome back to the vlog. It's gotten worse, friends. It's been about 45 minutes since last, and this is fucking bad.
Ted, I think you need another stick of butter.
I feel like my entire body feels like rubber bands.
Pretty much after that point was when things started to get, they started to get bad.
Fuck.
The shaking was also the reason why in the video you can see me clasping my hands together, because I was literally like shaking so much that I had to hold my hands together really tightly and keep my body really tight and close so I could be in like a comfortable state. And then I get into what is called the painful zone, or the first level of weed hell. Pretty much any position that I was sitting in felt painful.
Update. It fucking touching shit and feeling the world around me feels bad.
Damn.
And uncomfortable.
Don't do too much weed.
I hate this.
I was in the Pain Hotel, and I was its only guest. Any surface that I touched, whether it be the arms of my chair, putting my hands on my knees, anything like that just felt bad. And what I think I would attribute that to is just being so high. My sense of touch was just so elevated that my brain was just overloaded or something. Most of the time I was just trying to like breathe deeply and kind of maintain my composure. But whenever Cooper would turn the camera on me and he would start recording, I would sort of like try to elevate my attitude and try to seem as cheery as possible, because I didn't really want to seem like an idiot high stoner on camera, you know? At a certain point I had to move my home base because it was too disorienting to be sitting straight up. I had to go and get fucking horizontal, baby. And I pretty much had to make a mental agreement with myself just to survive.
Sam's running the fucking lost boots.
Is it just pure pain now? That's what you hate to hear.
It was during this time of unbearable dizziness that my good friend Schlatt decided to use a fucking handheld massager on me.
You are a criminal for trying to do that shit to me right now. That is,
I'm just getting the lactic acid flowing.
You can't do
I just want to get the juices flowing.
High.
I just want to get the juices flowing.
That's gonna turn me into like another
Ted, if you please.
organism.
If you please.
I will fucking jujitsu you, bitch.
Ted, what's the update? What's the status?
DEFCON 1.
Oh no.
Do you see my attitude there? I wonder why I wouldn't like that. A rapidly moving massager. If you want a lesson on what not to do to someone when they're high, that really takes the cake. Eventually, the fateful moment happens. I had a weed barf. I honestly think it was really just because of how dizzy I was getting from being high. And luckily for me, I ate a whole sandwich about an hour ago. I literally had to run across the entire room and just run into the bathroom and throw up. After I threw up though, that's pretty much where the high took the downturn though. It was cleansing. It was a cleansing barf. Yeah, it was detoxifying. I went to go eat some Skittles, but without even knowing I was on camera, I went around to people and not trusting my own ability to determine this, I asked them if the Skittles were edibles or not.
Jack, this, what do you know, these are normal Skittles, right? Yeah. Normal Skittles?
You don't get edibles in that big of a quantity, bro.
I ate the edible at about 6:30 p.m. that day, and I stayed awake all the way until about 4 a.m. that night. I woke up at about 9 a.m. and I was still very high, but I was definitely a manageable amount of high. What struck me though was I was high for the entire next day. I went to bed that night high. So in total, after eating a 400 milligram edible, I was high for about 26 hours. If there's one thing you guys shouldn't take away from this is like any anti-weed sentiment from this video. I think weed is a perfectly healthy drug to use recreationally. But weed, like everything else, follows the rule that too much of anything is definitely a bad thing. Obviously, only consume weed in a state in which it's legal and if you're of age. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want more stories from my life. I don't really know how many stories I have to tell. This is like the second one I've ever told on this channel. But I hope you learned a thing or two. And if there's one thing you should take away from this, it's this. Weed is for sinners, and I'm going to hell.
Ted accidentally took 400 milligrams of edibles.
Fuck. I sumo wrestled the largest Japanese man in recorded history, and I almost threw up and passed out in the process of doing so. Look, if you guys are new to my channel, then you know that I'm not a stranger to a challenge here or there. I've invented Healy tricks, I've eaten Cheerios with dish soap, and I've learned how to fight like an action star. I've done it all. I'm an influencer. I'm not afraid of anything except for accountability. Okay? So when my buddy Jacob hits me up about sumo wrestling the largest Japanese man in recorded history, I'm gonna say yes. If you don't know about the channel Off Canny, it's basically two guys, Jacob and Trevor, attempting to do professions that they have no qualifications to try in the first place, such as having girlfriends. So the day of this sumo wrestling extravaganza arrives, and me and Jacob show up to this martial arts studio ready to sumo. We meet Andrew, who I believe owns the martial arts studio, and he introduces us to the man of the hour, and I'm gonna fuck up this name, Yamamoto Yama Ryuta.
Here's my friend Yama over here. Yama. He's the heaviest Japanese human being in recorded history.
Oh my God. Or just Yama for short, or Yam Yam. I like to call him Yam Yam. People who are really close with him, we like to call him Yam Yam. That's a lie. I don't call him that. I didn't realize this when I first met him, but apparently Yama is a really big deal in the sumo wrestling community, partly because he's just so large. I'm about 200 pounds. Now take 3 of me, because Yama almost weighs 600 pounds. Also, he was in the John Wick franchise, which makes him the second person that I've been in a YouTube video with that was involved in the John Wick franchise. So Keanu Reeves, you luscious man, you know where to find me. We exchanged kind introductions with Yama, along with learning that the guy's a fan of the Whopper.
Do you like the Whopper from Burger King?
Burger King no Whopper, excuse me.
Yeah. Then we got to putting on the sumo belts. Putting on these sumo belts was a very strange process. They were wrapping us up tight in those things, like a Christmas present for an impatient child.
Squat down, squat. Oh.
Oh. Hey man, that thing is tight on your nuts. It's hugging them for dear life. It was hugging my nuts like it was a soldier about to get drafted into war. And the belt was my pregnant wife, Angela. And it makes sense, honestly, because I'm pretty sure in normal sumo wrestling, that's the only thing that they're wearing. There's a lot of trust in that relationship. After that, we moved on to the stretches that sumo wrestlers do when they're warming up every day. These were a lot harder than I thought they'd be. And maybe a third of the way into doing them, I was already sore. Things got much worse from there. One of the stretches they were teaching us to do was when you were sitting with your legs out and you lean all the way forward. And you see Yama doing it and you think to yourself, oh, that seems like a piece of cake. That seems like a piece of strawberry shortcake ice cream. No problem, my guy. Wrong. You are wrong. You're sitting there in your chair or on your bed or on your couch and you're wrong and you should feel ashamed. What I did not expect to happen was for Yama to come up behind me and start pushing me further into the stretch. Up until this point, I wasn't lying about my flexibility. It's not like I'm this closeted contortionist that's just hiding his incredible flexibility like some sort of circus-themed Clark Kent. I'm doing the best I can. Nevertheless, I was getting pushed into this stretch and it was getting very painful, very fast. Just take a look at this clip here.
Oh my goodness.
Now I'm going to be completely clear with you guys, all right? As clear as a freshwater lake in Norway. I'm going to be crystal. I'm going to keep it $1.50 with y'all. This was probably the most pain that I had experienced in probably the last 2 to 3 years. The last time I can remember I was in this much pain was when a metal door swung onto my ring finger, right on the nail. And I honestly couldn't tell you which one was worse. I felt like a piece of chewing gum where you take it out of your mouth and you stretch it until it almost snaps. Except that I'm not a piece of chewing gum. I'm a human, and I'm pretty sure we have rights. Here's the kicker though. I might be in an immense amount of pain, but I'm not gonna just start screaming stop. I'm an entertainer. And unfortunately, in this situation, the show must go on. I don't wanna ruin this video for Jacob. I gotta keep the funny juices flowing. I'm not turning off the funny juice valve. It's gotta flow. So this is exclusive footage that contains a combination of me being in an intense amount of pain while also trying to play it off as being not that bad. After that, I was told by Andrew that I should be lucky that it was that tame.
Ted, you're a very fortunate guy because in pro sumo, if you joined and you were like this and you couldn't do it, they would have a guy his size actually like get on top of you on your back and rip your tendons so that you could be in that position, and you'd spend weeks or months like healing up your tendons.
Oh, thank God that Yama, the largest Japanese man in recorded history, didn't get on top of me and snap my ligaments so I was bedridden for 4 months just praying that I could walk again. What a joy! Cheers. Cheers, everyone. No snapped ligaments. A lucky day. So the first stage of the actual sumo wrestling, we did some initial sparring against Andrew. Jacob went first, and I personally think that he did all right. And then I went next, and I was surprised to hear from Andrew and Yama that I actually did pretty well.
Nice, 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 nice.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so you did really well. He said that was amazing. No offense, but wow, you brought a ringer here.
I don't know what allows me to be generally good at physical things because I don't really go to the gym and I haven't played a sport since 2014. I think it's partly because of how my body's built. You know, I got leverage everywhere. But even though I did well, I for sure made my first mistake in these initial sparring sessions because I went way too hard. And after them, I was already exhausted, which was the beginning of the problems that I began to run into. So I began to do some sparring with Jacob, but every so often there would be some sort of technicality right at the end of the match where they can't tell who won, and we'd have to do the match again. And keep in mind, after every new match we do, I was getting increasingly more exhausted. I started feeling dizzy. If any of you guys have done a sport growing up, you may have experienced this type of dizziness, such as if you ever played basketball and somebody on your team was being a fuck ass and then the coach made you guys do suicides. That's the name of the exercise. They're called suicides, which is quite literally sprinting back and forth across the court for like 10 minutes, maybe 15. Depends on how mad the coach is. So I'm dizzy. I'm feeling like a piece of shit, but the show must go on. So after the occasional 5 to 10 minute breaks and slugging down water bottles, I just kept getting up and doing it. And part of the reason for this is because Andrew and Yama just kept hyping me up.
Oh, it's nice. Yama's so impressed. Very few guys have the attack, the balance, the sense that Ted does. Seriously, I'm not even, I had to really, I've been doing it for many years, and I had to really be careful. He almost had me a couple times. Yama said, if you practice with us here for 3 months, we're only practicing on the weekend. 3 months, you're gonna be really strong. You might have a chance of becoming the next champion.
Yes.
Hey.
So now I'm like, fuck, I gotta live up to this prophecy of me being the next great American sumo wrestler. I felt like I was gonna let the sumo community down, and I've only been a part of it for like an hour. So I did my final technical rematch with Jacob, and I won. I won the match. Easy. I can rest for a second. No, because Jacob had won one as well, so we had to do a final match to determine who the true sumo wrestler was. And at that point, I just had to sit down. My vision was getting blurry. The fear of actually throwing up was becoming quite real.
I feel like I'm gonna pass out right now. Oh. Maybe even throw up. Yummy.
And I'm just sitting there thinking, this is the video that I get to do with Off Canny. Schlatt did a video with Off Canny, and he got to quite literally dress up as a king and shoot people with an airsoft gun. And here I am rolling around in a musty martial arts studio looking quite similar to Violet Beauregard from fucking Willy Wonka, except dessert this time was not a blueberry pie, it was a raspberry pie. And I don't think that people who saw this video realized what sort of state I was in, because I'm scrolling through TikTok the other day and I find this. There are these crazily edited fan cams, but what they don't realize is that in these shots, I'm at the end of my fucking rope, man. I'm like about to pass out. And they're making TikToks with a SpongeBob clip where a character is saying, handsome. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I got nothing against fan cams, but of all of the moments that you could choose, truly chose me at my lowest. Finally, ladies and germs, we got to the end of the experience where we had an opportunity to sumo wrestle with Yama himself. Jacob had already gone and he got himself like thrown in the air, and now it was my turn to go up against the final boss. I pulled together all of my strength that I had left for my final match with Yama because I was like, I'm here, I'm already dead, and this is probably the only opportunity I'm gonna have to do something like this. I looked to the bathroom, thinking of the possibility of me throwing up literally everything in my stomach. It was kind of like that one scene in Avengers Endgame when Iron Man was looking at Doctor Strange, wondering if this was the timeline they beat Thanos. This is the one timeline. This is the one timeline that I would not throw up. So I went into it.
Holy crap, you're an unreasonably large human being!
It was like pushing a boulder. I could barely move this man. I felt like a third grader getting the shit kicked out of me by sixth graders for lunch money. There was no chance. So obviously I lost. But at the end of it all, the prophecy did not end because I got the greatest hype up from Andrew and Yama.
He said you're really powerful.
Thank you.
Both of you really practice seriously. You probably could each be US champions.
Wow. If YouTube doesn't work out, guys, I'm going into sumo wrestling. As tired and miserable as I was, I wouldn't change it for the world. It was a very, very fun video to do. It came out excellent, so if you want to see the full video, you should absolutely check out the Off Canny channel. And I thought it'd be cool to tell you guys my firsthand experience of what that was like. All right. That's it. Before I let you guys go, I got to talk about today's sponsor for this video, which is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community that gives you access to thousands of classes for creative or just plain curious people where you can explore new skills or just develop your existing interests. For instance, if you haven't already noticed, I've been trying to post more YouTube videos more frequently. This is in fact my job, and I've been trying to take the opportunity I have here a little bit more seriously. So with that in mind, I chose to check out the class Productivity for Creatives, Build a System That Brings Out Your Best with teacher Thomas Frank. And I've genuinely been enjoying it. I know that this is a sponsor, but this is me off the books saying that this has actually been helpful for me. This class in particular helped me sort of try to reorganize my relationship with being a creative, such as actually having a schedule for the first time in my damn life. The entire platform is curated specifically for the purpose of learning, so there's no freaking ads, and they're always releasing new classes. When you join Skillshare, you can try one of their live classes, and through that, experience real-time inspiration as you watch and work alongside other members. The first 1,000 of you guys to click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so you can start exploring your creativity today. Hey, thanks for watching the sponsored part. Appreciate ya. All right, thanks for coming by. Appreciate hanging. Wow, it's no matter. I'm just reading up on the world of shamanism while enjoying a nice warm glass of milk. The history of milk is a funny one, I'll give you that, but the historiography on the real, true history of milk is something that's been a bit lackluster over the years. The historians in charge of that should lose their homes, their jobs, and their children if they have them. Maybe move to a private island. You suck. I've been doing a little bit of research on the history of milk, and what I found I was completely horrified by. I mean, most of the history on milk is either categorically wrong or just missing completely. That's why I think it's time that we get a little bit of a refresher on the history. The majority of our 150,000-year history, humans have not been able to drink milk. Children can drink milk, but at about 6 or 7 years old, we lose the enzyme lactase, which allows us to break down the sugars in milk called lactose. That's a real fact. I'm not lying to you. If some dumb, stupid Neolithic fool tried to get a glass of the good stuff at 12,000 BC, you'd get barfing, bloating, oh no, diarrhea, maybe explosive, needs more research. It's generally agreed upon that dairying started about 10,000 years ago, right around the same time that we started domestifying the animals, which is the cows and the sheep and the pigs, and making chihuahuas. If we didn't start domesticating animals 10,000 years ago, we wouldn't have critically acclaimed film Beverly Hills Chihuahua starring Hollywood sweetheart George Lopez, okay? That's a win. Okay, picture this. Basically, one Neolithic shepherd saw a baby cow nursing from his mom, and he said something along the lines of, I mean, can you blame a man for shooting his shot with the titty of a cow? I mean, okay, yeah, but, oh, all right. And for a while, we only made cheese and yogurt and kefir. I don't really know how to describe what kefir is other than it's like Danimals. It's Danimals. But something happened 7,000 macaroons ago, and that was milk is on the freaking menu, baby. We got a gene that allowed us to drink milk, and man, the people who had that gene were surviving way better than anyone else, okay? You see, milk is a complete food, which means it has all the nutrients that we would need to survive off of it exclusively. Meaning that I could start a country where everyone would have to drink milk as the only food, and I wouldn't incur any human rights violations. That's a win in my book. Next thing you know, 80% of the Middle East and Europe have this gene, which explains this map here, Weatherman mode, that shows the prevalence of lactose intolerant in our modern times. I mean, read it and weep, Samantha. Unfortunately for us, this is where all of the accurate information on the history of milk ends. Meaning that I need to fill in the blanks. Now, the way that the milk industry worked for a good while was that there was these small farms that would make milk pretty much for themselves and then sell the rest to the local town or milk dealer. I don't fucking know. The first real milk industry tycoon was none other than American colonist Shimshaw Creamtime. And okay, I know, ridiculous name, but everyone had ridiculous names back then, and don't you fucking dare Google that, you listen to me. He ran a farm based in Utica, New York, and one day he discovered that one of his cows was actually the largest cow ever recorded in history. A mega cow, one might say. Its name was Charles. Now, Charles was able to produce more milk than the cumulative output of every other cow on Shimshaw's farm, and also every other cow in the county, which is a lot of fucking milk. It's an absurd amount of milk, actually. If you'll take a look at this graph here, that's how much the average cow produces per day, and this is how much fucking Charles produces in a day. What the fuck? What is going on there? We're talking scary amounts of dairy here, okay? And I'm not rhyming with jest. I am rhyming with fear. With all this extra profit from milk sales, Creamtime was able to purchase all of the surrounding farms in the area to make one new dairy company under the name Creamtime's Creamtime. Bad name, I know, but I don't write the history here. So, you know, don't shoot the messenger. Am I right? Let's move on. Trust me when I say Creamtime was having a good time with his new business, all right? He was sending it to the Taj Mahal. He was sending it to the princess's house. He was sending it to Phil. Phil's a good guy. He deserves a glass of the good stuff every now and then, all right? What can I tell you? Welcome to the wise guys. Now, at the time, about 80% of the drink market was taken up by the water industry. So obviously the executives at the water industry businessmen in colonial America, also known as Wabika, had a bit of a problem with this. So I mean, that's what led to the war. One of the most influential members of Wabika was none other than Carlos Fiji, and you might recognize that last name because he's actually the founder of Fiji Water, which coincidentally was not founded in Fiji, but rather a shed in Worcester, Massachusetts, because it's shed water. Carlos was running one of the most successful water shipment businesses in all of the Northeast, leading him to being one of the richest men in colonial America. This is who Bernie was talking about, guys. Carlos essentially waged a very physical trade war against Creamtime, where he planned to destroy all of his milk farms and viciously slaughter Charles, which would essentially put Creamtime's business and the milk industry down the drain. Utilizing his massive amounts of money, Fiji hired an army of what we will be referring to now as water mercenaries, which actually were the same Hessian mercenaries that fought at the Battle of Trenton, but that's another story for another war. Upon hearing of this war waged against his creamy good time, Creamtime decided to call upon none other than the Sons of Liberty, baby. Specifically, Hercules Mulligan. Hercules Mulligan actually knew a guy that they had been considering for a war. They weren't sure if they were actually going to have to fight it, but you know, his name is George Washington. Yeah, George Washington fought in the Milk War of 1775. You're welcome, all right? Okay, hear me out. Washington, with his military expertise and plethora of knowledge, hatched a plan. What was that plan? I'm about to fucking tell you. Can you not ask me questions while I'm doing the presentation? A uniform for all of the soldiers to wear so they could simultaneously help Creamtime deliver milk while also being able to spring into battle whenever needed. Boom, a milkman uniform. What's up, dude? Thanks for coming. this is how they won the war. This was the uniform of the Milkman Legion. In addition, they also donned a very famous milkman hat, which had a very wide interior, which allowed them to store more bullets to fight in battle, because they're milkman soldiers. It was an ammo bag. That's what it was all along. Eventually, the Milkman Legion prevailed against Carlos Fiji and his water mercenaries, and they burned his house down and they tarred and feathered him. And I think they also killed his family. The Milkman uniform became a widely respected symbol of the prevailing of small business against evil large corporations. One cannot talk about the history of milk without first touching on the event that was appropriately named the corruption of the Golden Cow that occurred in World War II. Essentially what was going on was the German army had been researching specific artifacts of power in order to gain themselves a footing in the war. Through their research, they discovered the ancient Egyptian tomb of the Golden Cow, said to contain the most powerful dairy known to man. Legend has it that if you were to drink the milk from the Golden Cow, you would gain the powers of God itself, which is a little OP, I'm gonna be honest, and also a cow. Why would you do, whose plan was that? What even is the purpose of having a cow like this? One of the officers that was part of this research team, Friedrich, literally a Nazi, was obsessed with gaining this power for the German army. Let me break it down for you. Friedrich, literally a Nazi, that's his name. He goes into the tomb. Dumb move. Next thing, he finds the Golden Cow's milk. Wow, look at that, it's the Golden Cow's milk. Next step, he touches it. Hell portal. We don't like Friedrich, literally a Nazi, all right? Because he kind of fucked things for a little bit, okay? There was rainstorms. There was locusts. More than normal locusts. And this wasn't just any normal hell portal. This was a class 6 hell portal, all right? Which means you've got big guys, little crunchy men, big, tall rhinos with axes and giant swords that can speak in Latin. Hello? Demons, dude boys, crazy werewolves. You've got slugs with lasers. You've got evil Phil. You've got storks, but with no beak, and instead it's a Gatling gun. And a couple bonus ones you probably don't know. You got big lights with no off switch, little kids that are just a fucking nuisance, and you've got at least 15 to 20 Karens, but except they have knives, which doubles the danger there. And big buckets of dynamite. It was only until a separate stealth team of milkmen were able to perform the sacrament of dairy on the hell portal in order to close it. This eventually placed the Milkman Legion on the front lines of World War II, fighting the Germans and eventually taking Berlin. Because of this mission, President Dwight D. Eisenhower decided to give the Medal of Honor to the squad leader of the Milkman Legion, Peyton Manning. This event was probably the most monumental thing that has happened to the milk industry in its history, of course, until 40 years later with the robot cow uprising. So, the year was 1984, and famous robotics and genetics trailblazer Greg Lil Ratman was trying to develop a breed of cow that would be able to produce a similar amount of milk to that of the famous mega cow, Charles. Utilizing his unique understanding of robotics and genetics, Lil Ratman was able to develop a cyber mega cow. A breed of cyborg cow with advanced intelligence that was able to decide for itself the amount of proper nutrients in order to maximize milk production. I mean, the thing is about these kind of things is that they never go well, right? Why would you give advanced intelligence to a cow, all right? We've been taking advantage of them for 10,000 fucking years. Oh, nice one, dude. I think you can kind of see where this is going. But it didn't go well. So Greg's dead. One of the cows learned to develop itself laser vision. So that was a problem, I suppose. Yeah, it was an issue. Okay, this is where things get a little bit ridiculous, so bear with me here. What else are you gonna do as a vengeful robot cow in 1984? Well, of course, you're going to exacerbate the tensions between Russia and the USA. The cows used their advanced intelligence to hack into Russian missile silos. You know, nuclear war would be now a possibility here, okay? Overall, an event second only to the Cuban Missile Crisis. So pretty good for cows caused quite a problem. However, thanks to the top secret agents at Cream Time Intelligence Agency, they were able to take down the cyber mega cow for good. So here we are, present day. You know, where the hell am I? Where the hell's my car? Alright, it's the Christmas season. Snow isn't falling in Los Angeles, but it gets down to 50 degrees at night, which means that something is different. Santa's coming to town, baby! Santa's coming to town! Christmas movies have been made for all time, since like the Middle Ages or something, since antiquity. But there are some classics that have burrowed their way into the cultural zeitgeist. You got the Santa Claus, Christmas Vacation, The Nightmare Before Christmas, kind of. I love Christmas movies, I do. Almost to the point where it's poisoned my mind. One time in 2018, when I was applying to internships in film school, I was on the phone interviewing for a very notable horror movie production company. And at the end of the interview, they asked me what my favorite movie was. And I blacked out and I said Elf. The Will Ferrell Christmas comedy. Needless to say, I did not get the internship. That's like interviewing at Lockheed Martin and saying that your dream is world peace. You're just not right for the job. And so I wanted to do another terrible low-budget Christmas movie review this year, and I honestly didn't think that I would find anything. That is, until I found this gem of gems. It's a movie from 1998, and it is called The Boy Who Saved Christmas. And looking at the cover art, it seems like your average run-of-the-mill innocent family movie from the 90s. But I assure you, it is nothing like that. Also, I love the tagline, no job too big, no job too small. To this movie, all jobs are medium. This movie introduces new Christmas lore that had to have been thought up by some enlightened LSD hippie or a college stoner. And to give you a hint, here's the synopsis. Santa's evil twin kidnaps him with the plan to reverse Christmas forever. But he hadn't reckoned on a brave little boy and his friends who set out on an adventure to rescue Santa and restore Christmas to its rightful place. I'm sure that you have a lot of questions based on that. Rightfully so, as did I. Reverse Christmas forever, reverse Santa. What does that even mean? So without further ado, let's jump right into The Boy Who Saved Christmas. Immediately as the movie starts, I am blown away by the title card. It looks like a rough draft that they took all the way to the finish line. Did they hire the boy on the cover to make this in 1998 MS Paint? And I know it's the 90s, so the digital world isn't as fleshed out, but oval ornaments? Come on. Don't start changing the shapes of the ornaments, all right? We're a bit far away from allowing creative choices like this. Just make a good Christmas tree. And as the names of the people involved in the production started showing up, I realized that they were also just slapping what looked like random Christmas-themed clip art on the screen. Andre Bork, give him a snowman. Dana Woods, toss some elf shoes in there. Colin McLean, give him a moon-shaped Santa. Amy Stromer, yeah, we're running out of clip art. Give her a moon-shaped Santa again. Anyways, let's start the movie. So we open the movie by introducing us to Jeremy, the main character of this movie. He's writing an email to Santa's official email address, I guess, and he's talking about how all he wants for Christmas is for his parents to get along.
What I want for Christmas is for Mom and Dad to get along. Your number one email pal, Jeremy.
Wait, hold on. Who the hell is this? That's a different kid. This boy is not the boy on the cover of this movie. That's a fully different boy. Different hair, maybe 3 to 4 years different in age. Did they just forget to get a photo of the main actor and then just like grab a kid off the street? Also, nothing against blue eyes in general, but this kid has striking blue eyes. You know, he kind of looks like that photo of Miley Cyrus. It's like I'm getting flashbang. Oh, hey, Jeremy, what's... Ow! Ow! Put those away, man. All my homies hate the blue eyes. That sounds bad, saying it out loud. Hazel for the win. So basically, Jeremy sends this letter of unrealistic expectations to Santa in the most 90s way possible. That animation has to be using all 200 megabytes of memory that this computer has. I honestly am probably overshooting how much memory this computer has. Next, we show up to the North Pole, and Santa is being shown his new cyber room for the first time by an elf named Pointer. Looking at Pointer right now, he's terrified of Santa. I feel like I need to pull Pointer into another room and ask him if like this is like a safe work environment. But anyways, here we're introduced to Santa. And in the next scene, we are introduced to possibly the strangest new addition to Christmas lore that could have ever been imagined, and that is Atlas.
It's 3 days before Christmas. My brother Santa and his miserable elves won't know what hit them.
What the hell is this? This is Santa's brother? This looks like Jafar from Aladdin. When this showed up on my screen, even after the synopsis, I was shocked. I realized I had barely a notion of what Atlas would look like. I didn't think he'd be dressed in a pimp's satin robe, eyeshadow, and a black morph suit. Who made the call on that? He looks crazy. Also, his name is Santa spelled backwards, which they even directly point out for some reason later in the film.
Atlas is Santa spelled backwards. He's Santa's evil brother.
The writers were feeling so smart with that one that they had to directly say it to the viewer. You know, by the way, His name is actually Santa spelled back. Yeah, we know! No one's ever had that name before. He's also got two weirdly dressed emo minions. They're also wearing morph suits with like sheep's wool on their shoulders and hips. I don't know what they're supposed to be. They could be another type of elf, but I also am considering the possibility that that's just their uniform. Either way, Atlas explains his whole plan. That's not how I don't know if you're allowed to do that. Well, what if we pretend today isn't real? What are you, a toddler? That's toddler logic.
Bob, is there something you're not telling me?
Seems like he's hiding a lot from her, to be honest. On top of this, Jeremy's brother, Butch, is a pretty classic mean older brother to Jeremy. He steals his stuff, calls him a shrimp, is shooting spitballs at him. He's just overall not a good brother. And he's also kind of an asshole to his dad.
She loses more than just your hair, huh, Dad?
Damn, Bob, you're just gonna take that? You're just gonna roll over for that roast? Also,
in case you forgot, again?
You trying to tell me that his dad has forgotten a Christmas tree multiple Christmases in a row? Either way, Jeremy is the most pure of heart boys.
As a matter of fact, I did not forget the tree. I've picked out a special one.
Cool. What's so special about it?
He's like so kind. And based on the way the rest of his family is, I have no idea how Jeremy ended up this way. This doesn't track. He should be loaded with trauma right now. Later that night, Jeremy's sending additional letters to Santa, but he's not asking for anything. He's just kind of checking in with how Santa's doing.
Santa, I hope you have time to write me back. Please let me know if there's ever anything I can ever do for you.
And you know he's not getting any replies, so he's just got this one-sided parasocial pen pal situation with Santa going on.
Your friend, Jeremy.
Yeah, no, Jeremy's very lonely. And just after Jeremy finishes writing this email, he witnesses something incredibly magical. Jeremy brings Butch out with him, but Santa's disappeared. And Butch doesn't believe him, but he also doesn't believe that anything happened.
No big red man out here. Maybe he went back to Mars.
He was here. I tell you, I saw him.
Wake someone else up next time.
Brother, there's a person-sized hole there. And Butch is like, this kid's fucking lying to me. There's smoke coming off that mark in the ground. You don't think that anything happened at all? So back at the North Pole, Atmus's henchmen have rounded up all of the elves and are keeping them in a janitor's closet. They basically realize in order to help Santa, they have to get him his magical hat. Only if Santa doesn't have his hat, he's just like a guy. Then Atmus comes in and pretends like he caught them, even though he was the one who put them there in the first place. The reason that this moment happens is because it serves something later in the film. That's it, I just have to mention it. And this whole time you may be wondering, okay, well, what happened to Santa? Turns out that Santa is passed out in, I guess, a fort that Jeremy... Also, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are real because pizza is real. Whatever. Let's talk about... Chicago, land of miserable winters, and the Cubs, a baseball team that took more than a century to win the World Series a third time. But there's more to Chicago than misery and pain because this place is the birthplace of deep dish pizza. Just kidding. This too was brought by the misery and pain that is the city of Chicago. During the winter of 1940, one of the most terrible blizzards hit the city of Chicago in what was called the Armistice Day Blizzard, but what I will be recalling and renaming the Deep Dish Day Blizzard. Put it in the history books. Please, history book companies, answer my calls because I got a lot of information you guys are fucking up. This blizzard was so intense that it knocked out power for the entire city of Chicago and major supply lines were cut off by snowdrift. The bitter cold got so bad that people were forced to descend into the Chicago Grand Catacombs, which are very similar to the Paris catacombs, almost identical. And the reason for that is because of a dimensional shift that happened in 1912. This one's gonna be kind of hard to explain, so please, for the love of God, just bear with me. Basically, in 1912, our reality of Chicago received the catacombs from another reality in which Paris was Chicago and Chicago was Paris. Are you with me here? Imagine the Eiffel Tower, but then Lake Michigan is behind it. That's the other reality. And then imagine France, but they have the Cubs. From what we know, that's the only thing that's different. This is called Dimension 1C. Two prominent leaders of the survival effort within these catacombs was Rudy Malnati and Ike Sewell. And these guys had the idea to search for any food and water that they could find within the catacombs. What they ended up finding was an ancient pizza shop that upon closer inspection by archaeologists in later years, turns out to be the burial site of an apprentice of Little Caesar from Dimension 1C. But in that dimension, his name was Big Caesar. And what they managed to find was strangely well-preserved cheese, tomatoes, and flour that just so happened to be perfect for making a slice. It's unsure of who had a more significant hand in the process, but Rudy and Ike worked together to develop a pizza that had a deeper crust that made it easier for the survivors in the catacombs to go longer without starving. After this event, Rudy and Ike went on to start their very own pizza chains, Domino's Pizza and Pizza Hut. But who truly invented the deep dish pizza still remains a mystery. Don't believe me? Just listen what local Chicago pizza expert Edward Burbank has to say about this.
Hey, Ted, I read this paper you prepared for me, and I have to say, other than the fact that there's a bit of a dispute whether Rudy Malnati or Ike Sewell invented deep dish, I really don't know what the rest of this is. I've never even heard of it, and I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago. I mean, I don't really know where any of this information even came from. What is this I'm reading about the Chicago catacombs?
All right, Eddie, that's enough out of you. Always joking around. He's a joker. No, he's funny. He's a funny fucking guy. He barely ever tells the truth. Unlike me, of course, I always tell the truth. Overall, this was probably one of the stranger situations that had ever happened in the history of pizza. That is, of course, until the year was 1975, and Navy scientists were doing research on these ancient tablets that were found within the lava of the volcanoes of Hawaii. What these tablets depicted was the process of putting ham and pineapple on what could only be determined to be pizza. That looks like a pizza to me. Radioactive dating determined that these tablets were more than 10,000 years old. Given their supernatural nature, the scientists were advised by higher-ups to avoid completing the recipe that is depicted on the tablets. But a rebellious researcher by the name of Samuel Charmander, that's his real name, decided one fateful night that he didn't give a shit and he was going to complete the recipe himself. Alright, so here's basically what happened. Pizza. Looks yummy. I want that in my belly. He adds ham and pineapple to the pizza. Probably a poor choice. He bakes it in the oven. And as you can tell by that glow, it's looking a little suspicious. Finally, he takes a bite of the pizza. Hell portal. We don't like Samuel Charmander because he kind of fucked things for a little bit. Volcanoes getting ready to erupt. The fucking kaijus are coming out of the ocean from Pacific Rim, the movie. And this wasn't just any normal hell portal, okay? This was a Class 7 Omega hell portal, okay? Which means you've got green goblins, greener than you've ever seen, swift, fast rats. They're quick on their feet. Oompa Loompas, but they're blue, and they're carrying a boombox that's blasting 21 Pilots, which is just a pain in the ass. An ugly guy named Gorgonzola, and he's really rude. Oiled and slippery old men. And I know you wouldn't believe it, but that's a demon. Flashcards, lots of them, and you don't know any of the answers. Fat cactus. Look at the size of that thing. Just the sentence teeming with life on a Minecraft sign. I don't even get this one. Mutilated monkey meat. Just a pile of mutilated monkey. You've got real dense birds that fly into windows. Washing machine, but everything comes out smelling like mildew. You've got Superman, except he just doesn't feel like it, you know? Cum gun. We all know that's an issue. As you can tell, this was a pretty serious situation and it almost sunk the entire island of Hawaii. However, thanks to the technology that was available in 1975, these Navy scientists were able to unbake the pizza using a device called a Nevo, which does quite literally the opposite of the oven. It unbakes the pizza. This indeed is the closest that we've ever gotten to facing the otherworldly and supernatural reality of pizza. That is, of course, if we weren't talking about... This one's pretty dang simple. You deserve to know the truth. We do not know where pepperoni comes from. We don't know. I tried to figure it out. It's from another dimension, a dimension where everything is made of pepperoni. But let me tell you, we can't get there. We can't get there anymore, though. I don't know. There's something about... There was a portal, and it was there. The pepperoni dimension was there. I would have loved this. They blew it up. Oh, God. The pepperoni separatists, they blew it up. They blew up the pepperoni portal. And we can't get there. We can't get to the pepperoni land. They took it away from me. They took the dimension. So there you have it, folks. There you have it. And we can't get back there, all right? Because the pepperoni separatists, they destroyed it. Something about Molotov cocktails
and C4. I mean, come on. Overkill. Pepperoni will be the next resource war, before the water wars, before the oil wars. It will be pepperoni.
There is a full 5 or 6 minutes in this film that is just Linda walking around with the dog, aggressively petting him, with Eric Roberts commentating the whole time. There's shots of the dog eating grass, and then Linda joining the dog in eating the grass. They even keep in shots where she's trying to wrangle the dog, and the dog clearly wants nothing to do with her, and they use that shot twice. Eric Roberts' voiceover starts to get a little bit more weird.
No, it's really the simple things. I'm tired.
Basically, after this, Adam and Molly return back to the cabin and they make up some bullshit reason why they need to go back to LA. So they drive back to LA, are about to do the spell, but whoopsie fucking do, the twins stole the spell so they could have it for their haunted house. Then the only way that Molly and Adam can get the book back is that they have to go through the twins' haunted house.
Perfect. We were just looking for you.
These two need to be in jail. The haunted house that the twins made looks like they're just getting their garage painted or something. Like, this is the climax. This is the haunted house that we've been hearing so much about.
Are you okay?
I'm starting to think that Adam doesn't actually like Halloween, if that is something that Molly needed to check in with him about. He's getting scared when a prop bat the size of a baseball falls in front of him. So they finally reach where the book is and they get ambushed by the twins. So we're just like, we're gonna beat you up. That's the entirety of our plan here.
Oh, listen to you, big boy. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna lay down on our altar and be our victim for the week.
Do these guys have a fetish for crime? Plus, they're doing a haunted house, and one of them is dressed as a cowboy. The least scary option for a Halloween costume. That's just a man that lived in Texas in 1912.
Yeah, we're gonna kill you over and over again all night and spray you with fake blood and guts and stuff.
What's going on here? What's happening? Either way, in the craziest twist of events in this movie, Molly decides in this moment to reveal the fact that she can use magic. She does like a Naruto jutsu and then creates another yellow orb and scares the twins away. I'm starting to think that the only magic that people can use in this universe comes in the form of yellow orbs. In the end, Molly and Adam reverse the spell, Ted turns back into a human, makes up with Linda and promises to improve their relationship. The twins apologize for being criminals, and finally, Adam and Molly get a Halloween smooch. Terrible movie, but that's not where my story ends. So I initially thought I might want to do a double feature presentation for this video where I find another terrible Halloween movie. So I started looking at the suggested movies that were from the same director. I found this movie called 666 Teen Warlock. I was like, yes, this seems like it's going to be incredible. But this is when my search for low-budget Halloween movies took an interesting turn. Here's the synopsis of the film. A witch informs a teen that he'll become a warlock on his 18th birthday. Okay, very cool premise. Sounds like it's going to be maybe a Harry Potter or Percy Jackson type scenario. All right. The intro to this movie is also wild. This is gonna be sick. This is gonna be badass. I'm gonna keep the summary of this movie straight to the point and very short, because coming off of this movie after watching Halloween Puppy was really, really weird. To give you an idea, this is the opening sequence of the movie.
Hey, Candace. I'm Larry. I go to this school too. Is Candace long for candy? Because you look good enough to eat.
Okay, this kind of sets the vibe of the entire film. So basically, it's about this kid Larry, who's visited by this witch who tells him he's now the gatekeeper of the world and has to stop an evil demon named Kevin from taking over the world and killing him. This one is also shot in a mansion, but this time the justification for them being there is that it's a private school.
So you're still in high school. Great.
It's a private school.
But they made zero effort to change the hallways and rooms to appear as anything more than just someone's house. I started noticing in this movie an increase in men taking off their shirt, or just having situations that they cannot find their shirt. There's a guy whose whole character arc is he just can't find his shirt.
Hey, did you guys find a shirt for me yet? Guess not.
I'm so confused.
I just came down here to get a shirt.
He just can't find his fucking shirt. By the end of the movie, not a single man is wearing a shirt, and they have seemingly no intention to put one on. There's also the headmaster of the private school who at one point goes on this, like, misogynistic rant.
As a young man like you can be taught, improved. But the same can't be said for the opposite sex. They're, mischievous, devious creatures, illogical, and they don't listen to authority.
There's Kevin the Demon that the main character is fighting, and you can tell he's a demon because he's got a big-ass fucking horn in the center of his forehead. And the only real power that the character uses in this film is the ability to command people to do what he wants them to do with his mind. Okay, alright, something's going on here. The actual teen warlock part is 30 minutes long. And then there's an additional hour of these three women that are in a theater watching other B movies with men with their shirt off? What relation did that have to the original movie? So I thought, okay, the main substance of that movie was pretty short, but it was funny. It was weird. Although I should probably find another movie to talk about and make it kind of like a trio of sorts. So I decided to order the DVD of this movie from the same director, David Control. It's called Three Witches, and I'm like, okay, doesn't seem like anything could be off here. Probably just gonna get the classic campy B-tier movie horror. It showed up in the mail, and I looked at the cover art and I said, oh, this cover art looks different than what I had ordered in the mail. 7 shirtless men have been added to the cover. So this is when I realized something was going on here. So I went to the director's IMDb page. David Control's filmography is made up of pretty much softcore, softcore. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get demonetized, so for this reason, I'm going to refer to it as lightly creamed corn. A lot of his movies are lightly creamed corn. However, in the marketing for these movies, they don't really say that that's what you're getting. The posters, the log lines, everything makes it appear as if you're going to see a classic horror B movie. I didn't realize until I was actually watching them that they were not totally that thing. Then when I looked at David's earlier work, it started to make a lot of sense. Wicked Stepbrother, Frankenqueen, Nightmare Mansion, Boy Crazies, Bigfoot Island, Voodoo Academy. Are you noticing a trend here? But nothing would prepare me for the monster of a title that is Bigfoot versus D.B. Cooper. Oh my god. There's no way this could be lightly creamed corn, could it? This is a screenshot from the movie. Great. Which is a shame because seeing a mysterious man that hijacked an airplane in the 1970s go toe-to-toe with Bigfoot is a concept I would pay blockbuster money to see. There's also an implication in the title that they're of the same power level, like this is a match that we've been waiting years to see. When did they become rivals? Was it before or after D.B. Cooper hijacked the plane? Did Bigfoot have a flight to catch and D.B. Cooper ruined his holiday plans? Bigfoot goes toe-to-toe with his ultimate rival, the guy that stole a plane, causing him to miss Thanksgiving dinner with his dear mother, Big Mom. Also, Eric Roberts is also in this film. How does he keep getting Eric Roberts? Does he owe David money? After Halloween Puppy, David started making more films that were based around speaking animals, such as Easter Bunny Puppy, a talking cat, a talking pony. So it appears that A Halloween Puppy was his first attempt at making a family film, and he still couldn't resist just adding a little bit of David magic in there.
Listen to you, big boy. Yeah, we're gonna kill you over and over again all night and spray you with fake blood and guts and stuff.
The titling of his movies can also get a little strange, such as Bunker of Blood, Chapter 6, Zombie Lust, Night Flesh. That is a loaded title, especially when I realized that Chapter 1 through 4 of that saga aren't even listed on IMDb. And to be honest, I don't even know if they exist. Inherently, these movies are intended to be niche, and I understand that there's a market for them. There's nothing wrong with that. But to give them posters and titles that make them appear as if they are normal movies, David is being a ruthless businessman. There could be potentially thousands that have unintentionally watched homoerotic, lightly creamed corn. And for that, I salute you, David. It's kind of a baller move. I had no idea that finding this movie, A Halloween Puppy, would take me on a journey like this, but my god, I hope you found it as ridiculous as I did. Happy Halloween!
Oh, what the heck is that?
That looks pretty good. Everybody likes the movies. It's been around for over 100 years. Oh, what are we doing for a date night tonight, honey?
Well, Cassandra, we're going to the movies.
Sometimes when it comes to movies, there's some really memorable ones. One of these, for instance, would be Pixar's Cars. It's a freaking awesome movie. It's cars and they're alive. But that's a pretty good idea. I could make that idea. But I could use bikes instead. Well, that's the case with Manuel J. Garcia's 2018 Bikes. It's the same thing, but also not at all. Listen, I go to school for film, so I know a thing or two about how this shit works. Crack me open a LaCroix and I'll tell you all the finer details of what film aesthetics is being violated with this film. Movies don't need to make sense. They can still get produced. They don't need to have a storyline or characters that fall within logic. And I kind of like a bad boy movie, if I'm being honest. And a bad boy movie would be 2018's Bikes by Manuel J. Garcia. It just kind of came up. It just, I was just browsing the web. Just hanging out in the locker room of the internet. If I had seen this movie when I was a kid, it probably would have single-handedly inspired me to try to become a filmmaker. Just kidding, that was a lie. This movie is a train wreck. Or should I say bike wreck? Guys, that was a bike meme. There's gonna be a lot of those, please try to keep up. We're gonna go through all the things that make this movie the craziest acid trip you'll ever have. Implying that I've had one. At a superficial level, I suppose that you could say that this movie is like a ripoff of Cars, but then it takes the entire concept of these living modes of transportation and just goes in a fucking whole different direction. Other than the fact that the movie is named after the mode of transportation that they are, and then the main character is kind of an ass and he likes to race, it's like just a fever dream. Let's read the official synopsis of this film. Spokesville is the bike's land. You know how you name towns with Ville? Why don't we name Spoke? That's on a bike. Let's call it Spokesville. Speedy, the main character, is a mountain bike ready to be the leader when the gasoline engine comes to disturb the city. Oh fuck. Speedy and his friends, Pinion, Gassy, and Montana, will fight against the annoying artifact to keep Spokesville clean. And it pretty much tells you absolutely nothing about what this film is about. Not what it's really about, which is the rise of this main character named Speedy, who likes to race, becomes the hero of town, and at his core is kind of an asshole. This movie is so convoluted and strange that I'm gonna do my best to make this make sense. But if it doesn't, don't blame me. That's just business, baby. So why don't we just check out the opening sequence of this film? The movie opens up on a wonderful intro sequence. It shows amazing sweeping shots of the town of Spokesville. You see all the beautiful places they live in then. Wait, what the fuck is that? Are those apartment buildings? Are those petals? Those are apartment buildings made out of petals. So you're telling me that the buildings in this town are designed after their body parts? That's like making a building that looks like a foot. I suppose you could argue, oh, Ted, how else are you going to know that they're in the bikes world? Cars doesn't do this. They just make a bunch of buildings that are accessible to cars. Some of these buildings are topped with, like, bike chains. Wouldn't the chains of a bike be, like, the intestines or something? That's pretty strange. That's pretty weird. We meet the main character, Speedy, whose character model is honestly terrifying. I have no idea why they decided to design the main character, the person we see the most, this way. All of the other bikes make sense, I guess. I mean, some of them have, like, lips, but not Speedy. Oh no. He's just a piece of plastic with dentures. So Speedy's a mail bike, so we start off with him going on his mail run, taking over from his old and withered, dumb grandpa. This is less than 5 minutes into the film. If this doesn't tell you enough about who this character is as a person, I don't know what will. He has no sense of guilt. I wouldn't be surprised if Speedy's killed another bike. I would not be surprised. Speedy thinks he can do whatever he wants because he's fast. Hey Speedy, newsflash. Being fast isn't a personality, you fool. My next issue is how strangely they introduce the characters in this film. There's these two evil bank bike characters. How do you know they're evil, Ted? Oh, I don't know.
Soon it will be ours.
That's his first line. They introduce Montana, who is very clearly the love interest in this film. How can you tell, Ted?
Speedy. Hi, Montana. I was just thinking about you, Speedy.
Based on the fact that she has the most luscious lips of any bike in this film. And also, she's pink. And I don't know if you guys know this, but pink, that's the girl color. Then the mayor shows up, and the strangest interaction I've ever seen happens. Wait. He shows up, she calls him Mr. Mayor, and then he says, and your dad, too. And then she says, not during working hours. What is that even supposed to mean? Are you telling me that Montana insists that when her father is working, that she only calls him Mr. Mayor? She is literally forcing herself to distinguish between her father not working and her father when he's working. Later on, she messes this up too, as if it matters to anyone.
That's what I wanted to tell you, Speedy. Dad, I mean the mayor is...
If the mayor is correcting her to say he's her dad, then where is this pressure to call him the mayor even coming from? One of my next issues is how Speedy delivers the mail. Let me just put this simply and try not to scare you guys. But basically, he's got a fucking hand. Yes, the movie about bikes, living as bikes, one of them has a hand. They could not easily figure out the part where he delivers the mail. So when he goes around and he has to drop off a package, boom! A fucking hand comes out of the bag. This is probably one of the creepiest things I've ever seen. And it also raises some huge issues. If this bike has a hand, wouldn't that create some serious issues on how opposable thumbs would affect society? Are we not going to address the opposable thumbs? This would seriously create some inequality. Like, for real. Like when a bike can swing an axe at another, there would be war. For some reason, Speedy has a mentor. I don't really know why. I think he's supposed to be the Mr. Miyagi of the film. Oh, and also, he has two hands. I don't know what's going on. He's literally just the Chad of bikes. Hey Manuel, how are we gonna get across that this bike is like the evil? Why don't we give him a face? His name is fucking Rock. They named him Rock. Essentially what happens next is this Rock Bikerson character, in cohorts with the evil bank bikes, introduce the gas motor to society. He's like, come on, give him a break. Give him a break. He's Rock Bikerson. Come on. Bing bong, the whole town's got gas motors now, and it's creating environmental disaster. That's cool. You can tell because it's making the bikes cough. Yes, the bikes cough, meaning that they have a system of breathing. Let me break this down Barney style for you. They are bikes, and they run on mechanical parts, but they also need to breathe, meaning that they have lungs in their bike bodies. Let me save you some time, I'll give you a rundown on what happens, basically. Speedy and his friends figure out that it's Rock, and he's causing environmental disaster. Who would have thought that Rock, who by the way has hired secret police to literally send people who can't pay for gas to jail, then sends Speedy and his friends to jail. And then this is when shit gets even stranger. And it's also when Speedy ends up being kind of an asshole. So basically they're all in jail and everyone's down in the dumps. And then Speedy says like the rudest thing I've ever heard. Like, what was that tone?
I'm sorry, give me a second.
That did not come off as if you were saying, I'm sorry, give me a second. That came off as you saying, hey Montana, can you shut the fuck up? She's just trying to make conversation and you're just being an ass. So you're probably asking yourself, Ted, how are they going to get out of bike jail? How are these bikes going to escape from bike jail? Oh yeah, you remember that old stereotypical Chinese Mr. Miyagi bike? Yeah, the one with hands? Yeah, well he's also got explosives and munitions.
Yes, perfect.
He also has a laptop. In a society when the gas motor was literally just introduced. Oh, so they sent in a team to get him out of jail. That's smart. They must just steal a key from the guards, right? That would be too easy. They take the inner tires of all of the bikes and then steal the entire jail cell by breaking a balloon through concrete and flying away. And then later on, Speedy says that it was a perfect plan.
It was a perfect plan.
What about that was perfect in the slightest?
And use a false advertising?
And then for some reason, the mayor decides to just settle it with a race between the two of them.
I hereby authorize the city race.
In the race between Rock and Speedy, Speedy gets a flat tire because of a bunch of spikes in the road. But then the bike pump guys come, and they pump his wheels back up, completely negating the fact that he has holes in his tire, and he's fine. And the film goes on, and he wins the race. Speedy beats Rock in the race, he tries to cheat the whole time, and he cries like a baby idiot dumbass. And then everything is totally fine at the end, I guess. The final line between Montana and Speedy just leads me to believe that these two are just going to get married, and then they're going to have so many issues because they have nothing in common, and they're going to get divorced in a year.
Oh, my Speedy.
What kind of fucking interaction was that? She comes up, she tries to congratulate you, and then you're just like, it's not about being number one, Montana. Dude, fuck you. What a dick. Is that not the number one rudest thing you could respond with? Overall, though, I think we can enjoy this piece of cinema for what it is. A beautiful piece of work that really just tells a touching tale about, you know, don't make the gas motor. Just stick to laptops and munitions. So yeah, that was Bikes.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want me to look at other weird movies in the future. If I had to give this movie a rating, I would give it a 10 out of 10. It was...
In a world of fun and fantasy, and ever-changing views, and computer terminology, Commodore skills. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you.